Check, check. Check, check, check. 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 Check, 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 check. Check. Check, check, check. Gasp. Oh, there it is. Check. Check. Okay. Check, check. All right. We are now on stream. I've just pulled some people up into the VC with me here. Welcome, everybody, to Squid School. We're going to start things off. Hello. This is Tater Tot and the Luxury Shovel, both of whom are in here with us. And there's one more who's going to be joining us a little later, Unlocked Ocean. I think they're just getting out of classes or something, or work, and they've got to eat dinner before they can get on with us. So they're going to be going second or third or something. Just depends on when they get here. But welcome to all of these Squid Schoolers in the chat. Check, check, exactly. Check. Czechoslovakia, check. We're going to... I'm ready to be ridiculed live on Twitch. There we go, there we go. That's the spirit. It's not exactly what we're here to do, but... Yeah, sure, yeah. And how's it going, everybody? There's a lot of hellos. Jen, did you get a haircut? It looks different. No, I just woke up from a nap, and so this is what my hair looks like when it's wet. It will dry out, and then it will look normal again. Say, hey, Squid School, I'm a huge fan. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you over the internet in a stream chat. An anonymous-looking username. Hello, Woomy Expert. Hello, that is me, I think. I hope. All right. Scrolls all the way down. And Devi, yes, you will be very helpful here because we have 3 in the chat, and so if you jump in with us, that gives us a full team. So, as per usual, we are going to start off with some Anarchy Open that you folks in the VC are welcome to join us for. I am going to put up a password guardian to make sure that nobody is able to abscond with our secret information about the password we're using. That would be no good.
I don't think you're on my friends list, though.
Well, we'll have to fix that.
Yeah.
So I will send you, along with that password, my friend code.
Excellent. I'm going to have to compete Devi for Spot of Hydra.
Oh, I can, for Squid School purposes, I will give that spot up, don't worry.
Good, because I'm a Hydra one-trick. I cannot play any other weapon except maybe...
well, welcome to the Hydra Crimes clan, man!
Devi is excited to hear this news.
Absolutely. I do not need to always wield it. Like, I'm in S3, I'm trying to get off of one trick. Like, yes, it's my most played, but everyone still assumes I'm a Hydra one trick, and I do have other weapons up my sleeves that I do bring into comp. So that's a funny story.
Weapons.
I'm going to be waiting for the friend requests before I create the lobby, by the way. So
I did send
password.
That to...
I've sent a request.
That's true. I do need to send this to Devi too.
It's different from the 2 different ones I tried.
Yeah. We're mixing things up. We're increasing security protocols.
I see.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad I got delayed a week because in that time I managed to gather my drip.
There you go.
Also, to Neo, pom poms to you.
Yeah, Neo here is the provider of all of our password guardians today. These all came in one batch.
Oh.
They are.
Is that actually
haunts.
from Neo too? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
Neo
funny.
Neo is giving me the names of all of these creatures.
Oh, okay. I understand underneath the thing, but I was giving shout out to the message of being the favorite teacher.
Well, where are all these birds? There's so many people who just have profile pictures on the Switch that are just a bird.
It's definitely on probably the reward thing, but I haven't looked at them at which one.
Like, is that from a game or something?
I
It's
can't see
hidden
which
right
bird
now.
because of all the horses.
That's true. That's true. That's probably getting in the way. Well, the Rito are popular. I see. When I see Rito, I think of Riot Games, like they're
Really? Yeah, I guess you would.
everybody
I guess you would.
everybody complains, and the joke is that they misspelled it. They meant to say Riot, and they wrote Rito, and so everyone just spams like, Rito, please. It's an old meme, but it checks out. All right. So now I am making the lobby. Lobby is up. Say goodbye to the haunts. They will still be there.
See, Jem plays more League of Legends than he does Legend of Zelda. Different legend.
I play Zelda.
I know.
I know you're talking.
I know.
No, I'm referring to them being like,
fan
Jem doesn't play Zelda?
No, he plays.
Yeah, I was recently watching the video. Oh crap! I was recently watching the video where Link gets challenged to get up on top of the flying. What kind of beast is it? Legendary beast or something in Breath of the Wild, and the guy is like, "There's no way you're gonna be able to get there on your own." And then the video just pauses. 10 ways that Link can get up there on his own.
Legendary beast.
It's such a beautiful video. Divine Beast, there we go. Yeah, same difference. Okay, so we've got...
Oh boy, it's Clan favorite.
We've got some comps here. We've definitely got some comps.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 52.
Do you want me to stay this, or
I could switch
You
it
like,
to something else if it's
you like-
absolutely necessary.
Flash Machine? I can probably roll with the crab.
We could play double Hydra in Clan Blitz. It's a great idea.
I didn't see what the maps were.
It's Clam, Hammerhead, and Sturgeon.
It's definitely viable in
Whoa,
Hammerhead.
whoa,
I
whoa.
don't
Watching
know as
from the
much as
hospital. Sully, you okay? What happened?
Sturgeon. Oh, he became a dad recently.
Oh my goodness, congratulations!
The twins, remember?
I remember now. Okay, I heard hospital and immediately thought bad thing.
No. This one's good
Okay.
thing.
That
No.
that spooked me a little bit, but congratulations.
Oh well, he's becoming dad.
They're in the
wait.
process of becoming dad. So, make sure to attend to your wife more than you attend to the Squid School. Okay. Okay.
Yes. We have things covered here. I'm just gonna run, I guess. I have a 96 build. I'm gonna run that for the splash and see how that goes. Although, I should probably run Ninja Squid though, right? Yeah, probably want that.
Yeah. It's a bit of an oddball combination of special charge, swim speed, Ninja Squid, sub power up. That's what you tend to see.
Ninja Squid. I got Ninja Squid stealth jump, sub power. I don't have that, but I think with how my glasses are, they're going to work better since I want to prioritize the crab.
Yeah.
Since it is literally Hydra and a special, plus an Explo shot.
Devi is still a Hydra in spirit.
Yes,
Exactly.
actually, it's interesting because crab weapons are something that, like, say you're in a pickup and you have more than one backline, having one of them have kind of a pocket crab tank weapon actually helps them out more because they know how to kind of use it from their backline instincts. They just have to remember to play, you know, more forward with the main weapon.
Whenever you're ready, Shovel.
Oh, right, sorry, I forgot.
Now, are the Anarchy Opens part of the upcoming reviews with viewers, or is that different?
This is the Anarchy Open.
Yes. Okay. Okay. It is different. Okay.
Yeah, funny thing. My team was like, "Hey, you should learn some other weapons," and I'm like, "Okay." And then I learned GooTuber.
You know,
I mean, it's not a terrible weapon. It's definitely seen some use. At,
I will tell you though, the one kind of benefit of being a one trick is that you're able to literally learn every slight detail you can about the weapon, and then you can just fully master it when it comes to whatever matchup, positioning, situation. That's kind of like a #1 benefit of being a one trick that I have found out. Oh, my aim really bad. I got one. Oh, there's
Where'd
another
you
one
down?
on me. Oh,
One.
Okay, that brush is
well,
just gonna do brush things and try and run in and put
Yep.
clams in the basket.
okay. I'm jumping back because I have crab, and I'll use it on ramp if I need to.
There's one in our box. Two, actually.
Okay, hang on.
Got him.
Oh, I hit that with an explo shot.
Wailing in.
Someone pinch with me left here. Oh,
Got one.
nice. Thank
Nice
you.
shred. There's one out on right.
I'm trying to
Got
help
him.
you.
Another one on me.
Right.
One more.
Brush.
One more.
They're down.
Nice. Okay, I'm with you.
I
I'm
have a
kind of
clam.
painting up a little bit. I'm close to crab tank. Give me like 3 seconds here.
All right.
Yeah, I've got a booyah bomb.
I got 2.
Good stuff. All right, I couldn't get the last one, but you got it. Just
Give
brush.
me the quad! Oh, someone stole it. That's okay.
I might
I'll
be
go
able to
get
swim the or jump the power pit
here.
again.
I'm gonna hide underneath the basket. They don't know. They really don't.
You can't
Did I
reach
jump
from
to the
there.
right person? I did
Yeah,
not.
I hope so. Oh, no.
Yeah, I jumped to shovel. That's my bad.
Man. It's alright.
Good
Got 'em.
shred.
We're painting up over everything. Oh, how'd they get? What the?
They jumped over the block. One more
Ledge.
on block. They're down. One
There's
more
another
block.
one. There's another one. There's another one. There we go. I almost have crab. 3 seconds.
One on me. One on me.
I have crab.
I got in too close.
Okay, I'm gonna wait till you're back, Jim, and then I'll crab up the ramp. Oh, someone died behind
Do
me.
that.
One in left corner.
They're pushing right. Nice. One more. Nice. Oh, there's a bomb.
First bomb.
Just brush in front. In front. Mid.
Oh,
Mid.
you
Mid.
have-
Mid. Picking it up.
Oh dear.
Got him. Wait, no, I didn't.
Nice,
I
nice, nice.
5 times.
Okay, I have this crab still. Not for long.
I'm on my way up to you.
Okay, crabbing.
I've got the
Somebody's
jump.
Jumping mid right now.
Someone help me here.
I'm
I
here.
steamrolled.
Red.
We're at basket.
Okay, well, they're
We
wiped.
need clams. Jump in.
I can swim.
Traded.
Ah, did me.
There's a lot of orange tape behind you. Be careful.
Thank you.
I got
Alright,
two.
just back up. Just back up.
Yep.
Just tater.
Good stop.
There's one on the left corner I hit with a burst bomb going right.
One right.
Oh, they jumped back at me. I forgot about the whole squid jumping thing.
I can't trade that.
Yeah,
That's
they're
okay.
on back of mid. Got
There's
him.
2 left. I'm trying to
He's
keep
dead.
mid control right now. There's a minute 30.
2 on right. They're throwing a bunch of bombs.
Yeah, I'm only half the crab.
Is
I'm
that
trying
a
to get
double
crab.
bomb T-Tech? That's gross. Stop doing that to my weapon.
I don't think so.
One coming up our ramp. He's almost dead.
Oh, it was
One
double
tap.
T-Tech is what happened. Okay.
Yeah, it's double T-Tech, but...
Oh, trade with T-Tech.
Okay, there's one on me in mid. Oh, I died to arrow. I
I'll
got
get the
buddy
jump on
blood.
left. They're down. Brush on right.
Uh-oh.
Got him.
There's another one on right on my jump. I actually hit it with a burst.
Yeah, I'm getting rushed from someplace else.
He's weak.
There they are.
Got
There's
him.
one behind arrow.
One more on the ramp. They're down.
Oh, he...
There
There we
we
go.
go.
Brush and mid. Got them.
I just got the... someone was to my right, I think? I don't know. Okay,
I'm up
I
on
have
the ramp.
crab tank. Okay, I have
Wailing
crab tank.
in.
I'm gonna come up. Oh, there is one on the right. I knew it. Let me help you. Oh, you got it. Okay.
I don't got it.
Right
there
there.
we go.
I'm assisting. 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 I'm dead to a
Oh, no.
bomb.
Give me 2. Give me 2. Give me 2. Oh, or just score that
Or
one.
just
works
do
too.
that. I'm just gonna jump in and kind of hope for the best here.
Yeah, we got
a few
this.
more clams. I'm gonna grab a couple here. Here, I'm throwing a couple up.
All we
Wait,
require a
did it-
knockout.
Did we get a knockout?
Yeah, we did.
No. That was a timeout.
Was
Yeah.
it?
Okay.
I thought we got a knockout right on
It
the
wa-
nose.
we had 4 points left. I
Oh,
was like,
never
wait,
mind.
I didn't throw that. Did someone else throw
Oh,
that?
I heard the clam noise as soon as the game over hit, and I'm like, oh, I guess it was a knockout.
Yeah, I only had 1 clam in my possession, and it didn't
Oh.
knock it out. That
I
threw me off so badly.
I threw 3 of them up, so I thought we got the 3 of them in. Oh, 20 bomb. I will say half of mine were assists off of Gem. Oh look, I got sub power up.
Well, I mean, we definitely won.
Yep.
Yep.
I remember this one scrim I was in where every Clan Blitz game there was this one brush that we just couldn't stop somehow. It was really annoying. I hate brushes in Clan Blitz.
They'll they definitely aim check you on defense, because with most weapons you can just paint in front of them and that stops them from moving forward. But the brush will just hold the brush down and run, and so you actually have to hit them.
Same shoes, Pog.
Gem at us +0 for real. I've been playing X Battles.
Hey, I'm not even at
Leader
S
on right,
yet.
leader on right.
Or S plus. Okay.
Oh, did you not make it to +10? I'm down to 1 brush.
Yeah, the same thing got me.
That leader is watching me.
There.
One's going up a ramp.
Yep. Try to stop him. Oh, I traded with him.
Nice stop.
Alright, good
nice
stop.
Good.
There are 2 down. Let's see if we can find
There's
this
one
leader.
in the left corner is a shot. Oh, shooter, I'm down. Oh, I do not see you beside me, Gem. Each time I'm like, okay, where are you? Oh, wait, we're like literally side by side.
Leader weak. Oh, there's a brush on my left.
Um,
Yeah, they're sharking a lot. They're not even running Ninja Squid. They're just kind of sitting there.
Okay, hit him with them fall off.
I got one with a burst. Oh, leader's one shot. I traded with something, but I got the leader.
Killed brush.
Pro's got the clam. You can definitely move up more than where we're at.
There's one right in front of us. Pro.
And move.
Got him. Got one. Wailing leader.
I need to gather some clams.
Leader
if we don't
dropped
have-
right.
I'm at 7.
Brush we can hit.
Yeah, leader's still from right. Watch out that they don't hit us while we're on plat.
Oh no.
Oh, that leader is watching me. Leader left.
Alright, we weren't able to find the clams. Get out of there if
Right.
you can.
Oh no, I could not. I could not figure out where they were dropping.
Your last shovel.
Yeah, I'm out.
Hmm.
Watch out for wave breaker. Oh, great, wave breaker and whale. I'm being pushed. Let's do that.
I'm gonna go for the leader in 2 seconds. They're gonna make themselves present to me. I got the leader.
Alright.
Oh, I'm dead, I'm dead. Brush on block.
Got one.
Yeah,
That's
brushes
not
at our basket. I got him.
We've got mid under control. Okay.
I got crab. I can crab up the thing.
Have to whale.
here, let me
I'm
do
probably
this.
gonna farm for it before we go.
Where Hydra? Where are you?
I'm
Right
Leader
here.
coming.
leader
Here
up
you
top. Leader up top. They're perch.
Oh, I didn't get the crab off in time.
Careful, shovel. You're alone in your scene.
Yep. My bad.
Yeah, I shouldn't have jumped to it. Alright, we just gotta get back on defense. Watch the block. Watch the block. I got right.
Critted him.
Oh boy!
Assisted.
It's just a brush.
Have fun with that brush. Two on me. Brush.
Yeah,
Both brush.
trying.
There
Brush
we go.
dead.
Thank you.
There was one behind me here. Yep, pro.
One
I
at
can't
end,
fight
mid.
it.
I'm gonna displace the leader.
Okay. I'm gonna use that to my advantage
Lasering
here.
in. Oh, I got too far in front of it and
Hey,
got bombed.
got one, but not the other one.
Emma,
Still
one
two
climb
on.
away.
Careful, we're down, we're down, we're down.
There's three in a line on the left. You got one of them. There's still two more in
Nice.
a line.
2v2,
made a
just
clamp.
hang in there for a second.
I'm gonna grab crab and use it. One up top left of me. Oh,
On
they're
left,
on
on
me!
left, on left. Got him.
Yeah, I have this crab, but I need to heal.
Watch out for wave breaker.
There's a jump coming up to perch. I'm gonna camp it. Got it.
Hey,
I'm
got
VIing it.
Ah, come on now. There we go.
No, I missed.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
I got two. It's 2v2.
I just completely fumbled there.
we need
All good,
the
all good.
clam.
Well, it's 0-0, so
It's 0-0,
it'll
but
just
still.
your overtime.
I'm gonna build the clam and try to.
There's one on right,
I'm
one
gonna
on right.
block this guy first.
Nice.
Got him.
I have 4.
One top mid. They're
Okay,
down.
I have 7.
I have 3 for you, so you
Here,
can start moving
well,
up.
keep an eye on this brush on the right.
Yeah, he's
I
I
gone.
tried to go
Go.
after the leader. That was too aggressive. Forge got
Okay,
me on
I'm gonna
left.
make this. I'm gonna give this to you.
Cool. I'm gonna paint yeah, so I can displace the leader.
Okay. Oh, I'm down.
Backing up.
We gotta go in with the booyah. We can't go in with it.
There's one in mid. One in mid. Weak. Two left. Two left. Two left. Got one.
Careful, we can't lose that clam. Okay, they're 2 down.
One's
Wailing.
weak.
Can't jump up for some reason.
Oh
Ah,
fuck, the
ball
bomb.
was up. Shoot.
I'm gone.
All right, we gotta
Leader's
get back
down.
on D.
Oh no.
Yeah, the
That
brush
brush
is gonna
might have
score.
that brush is there.
Ah, fuck.
Let's keep the cursing down, please.
Alright. Fiddlesticks.
Alrighty. Tentatic shirt in real life, yes. Yes, that is what this is. It's one of my favorites. I'm actually wearing this in the headshot that I gave the Genesis crew for commentary.
Is it funny that I remember that?
Weren't you also on that staff?
No, because I wasn't into commentary when you did, when we were, like,
Oh, okay.
literally first met. I got in about a year later, is when I started commentating. Oh, I'm being looked at on the left.
Alright.
There's like 3 on
There's
their top
one
left.
flanking right.
Right?
But I've got you on left. Someone dropped left. Someone dropped left. On Debbie. On Debbie.
Yep, I'm down.
Got him.
Got the one on the right.
Jem, throw your clam back to either Tater or Shovel.
I got it.
Okay, I'm gonna come in. I just entered.
I've got a booyah ready.
One on the right. Nice.
I got it. Or you got it.
Yes.
Someone got it. I'm marked. I'm gonna be a distraction on the left.
Got
Oh.
one.
Okay, they're 3
Got
down.
two.
That-
Good.
And it's in.
Oh,
On the right. On the right. On the right.
someone came
They
behind
dropped.
me.
They dropped. Got him.
I'm marked.
So, there you go.
That was a silly
Got
jump.
one.
Try to keep the
Got
basket
two.
open. There are clams there. There are clams there.
Yeah, I kept it open. Okay, mini weak.
Marked.
I'm dead. Good push.
I couldn't get out.
I'm down.
I don't know if we can keep that. There's one in mid.
We got
There you
him.
I did
I'm
not
gonna paint
need to
this
do that.
right.
I'm still not used to the number being different.
They're giving me paint.
Mm,
Free paint!
I'm down.
Okay. I'll wait till you're back to crab tank.
Okay, there's one on
the
right.
corner. Oh, I
Yeah, he's-
broke its armor. Oh, they're booyahing.
They're on right. It's Nova, I think. Or
Oh,
Forge.
there was a
Shoot.
bomb there.
I got the ball.
Okay. There's one pushing Gem on the right.
Yeah, I
potentially
need help
2.
on right.
I've backed up to our ramp.
I'm down on right.
I'm booyahing.
Several in front.
Got the carrier.
My aim with the shooter is not there.
Nice. Wailing. Got one. Nice.
Can we jump in?
Yeah, they keep like jumping back to their own plat when there's someone
Oh,
defending there.
hello.
I don't think we have enough to keep it open.
Oh,
Nope,
I
I'm
definitely
gonna
wasn't
reconfigure
paying
their
enough
spawn.
attention. I could have done it. I'll just stay here with Debbie.
I'm just gonna shark for a minute.
Ah, I didn't get all the lasers off.
Oh, I missed again.
Might be able to get that, but I can't yet.
Got him.
I will not be able to get it. I am sorry. I am stuck in a crab. Ah!
Oh. I'm getting out.
There's a bunch of clams in mid.
There are 3 down.
5.
4.
I got here.
7.
Watch out for bombs.
Oh. I'm trying to
Oh.
throw them down, but
There are 3 pushing in. We're 3 down.
Oh,
no, the booyah bomb was so good.
They're gonna
Okay,
be
they're
on a
gonna be.
ramp.
Got one.
Nice.
I've marked one with thermal.
Traded. 3v2. Just watch out for the weight
They're
breaker.
bubbled. I'm just gonna wait till the bubble's over and take their paint. It's giving me crab.
I do not think so that right there.
Dropping out left. There's one here. They're weak. Got him.
Trying to come to you.
I've got a booyah bomb in case overtime.
I marked this person with a burst. Oh. Got two.
Carrier down. Nice.
I got a crab. Near. Oh, I killed Gem. Whoopsies.
Here you go.
I'm
Cool.
sorry.
I was like, that bomb's going past me. Oh, I guess not.
You know,
so someone's wondering how Clam Blitz works. So there are a bunch of clams, random clams, layered around the map. You pick them up, you get 8, it forms the football. And you can see there are a bunch of clams sewn into the football. And you need the football to break into their basket so you can throw more clams in. The individual clams will not break the basket by themselves. You need a power clam in first, and then you can throw the individual clams. And the timer stays resetting as long as you're throwing clams in. But if you stop throwing clams in, the basket closes, and then you have to open it again. And you win if you throw up to
I can't believe
100 points of
I've
clams.
missed the basket horizontally twice. This is why I don't play E-liter.
I mean, even then, clam throwing is actually a skill that takes time to learn. There's a reason why I've been dedicated clam thrower on most occasions. I've actually gone into recon mode and have and in PBs and have figured out the proper angles of throwing clams for jump ins and just how close to get. So it takes practice, in all honesty.
That goes all the way back to when we were running the K-Dooley's baller comp in
the
Splatoon
baller
2.
meta.
Yeah. Because the whole idea was just baller under their basket and jump a power clam to the baller, so I was the baller and Devi was the jumper.
Or Cookie. We had double baller.
There's one
almost had
bottom
crab.
left. I'm dropping on him. Got him.
There's one.
One their snipe. They jumped off onto the spinner. It's roller.
Okay, big swig, great week.
Nice.
It's a
Good
big
stuff.
swig, by the way.
Very
Yeah.
cool. You love to see it when it's on the opposite team, not so much on your own.
Yeah, there's one on the top left here.
Yeah, I see him.
I hit him once.
Oh, I might be able to get him. What? I would have hit that on any other shooter.
I got him. Do we have clams? For
We
ball?
have 9.
In that basket.
Here's a
He
couple
doesn't have
shovel.
Huh?
I'm trying to get you enough clams to make a power because we're close to basket.
Ashes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get rid of the guy that's in our base.
Well, we have a clam. If we come in with the clam,
they don't have enough
they're
clams to
forced
score.
come back.
You don't need to worry about them if we can
Come
score.
over.
That was...
Flash on me. Got him.
Here.
Job.
We don't have... I'm going to go back and get more clams. We need to keep the basket open here because they're going to try and counter score us if we let it close.
Yeah, I got the clash.
All right, I've got 3 coming in.
I am stalling them in their base. Everyone else.
Someone else go get clams real quick. I can score one more.
I can't. I'm dead.
All right, there's someone back
I'm gonna-
right. Go back right.
I'm gonna stall the guy on snipe while you guys
Okay,
keep that.
I got splatted. That's probably dead.
I did
Push.
what I-
Stop the power clam holder if we can.
There's...
Trying, but they bubbled. I can't do anything.
He's gonna
It
get
was a
it.
junior.
You need to get back
Yeah,
to
he was in
basket.
it.
They're the only one there. Oh. Well, now they're not. The big swig came in.
Yeah, big swig's down. Another
I
one
got the
left
other.
on me. Clash, they got me.
It's just the Tetras up in the left there.
Clash in mid, clash in mid. See
Oh.
if we can... Oh, yeah, there you go.
I traded.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think the Tetras have the clam. The Tetras have the clam.
I fall off them a couple of times, they're weak.
Good. Use that as an advantage. Oh, there's one to our left here. Hi, big swig.
Reef
Got
down.
him.
Nice.
Oh,
One on right. Flash.
Spin.
No, Junior.
I got
That's
it.
white. That's white. Where are our clams?
I've got 1.
I've got 5.
Clams. I've got 5 as well.
I'll have 5 too. You
Alright,
guys
here,
make a climb,
shovel.
I'll come in.
Go make it. Go make it. Go, 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 go. Score. What hit me? There are some clams up on the top of the ramp if we can get there, but...
Don't think so.
Dang. I got pinched between a auto bomb and a big swing.
Okay, there's nobody... Okay, there's one on
It's on
spinner.
spinner.
They're trying to fall off or something. They reef-slidered? Nice. There's one more who came in from that.
Oh, from the
One
right.
far
That's
left.
the junior.
somebody might be sharking here.
That Junior.
Junior's on the right. They're in
There's-
the pit now.
At least one on left.
There we go. Okay, I'll make my way to the left.
Yeah, several on left. Good crab. Wailing. They're down. Got another. Basket's clear.
We have
Just
6
the-
clams. I
Watch
just
out, they
have
do have
3.
Zuka. They
There
do
we
have
go.
Zuka.
Watch out behind your head top.
I'm down to the spawners. They're coming in left. If you can stay safe, I might be able to jump Pity in. No, there's no time.
There's
There's no
no
time.
way I can go here with pity.
Yeah, there's no time anyway.
I'm down, but I got 1.
Alright, good trade.
There's one on the right and the clams on the left.
Oh my god, I actually got one shot by a big swig. What a miracle. They're coming in left.
Whoop.
Yep, I've
I'm
got
trying
my
to
eye
help
on.
you. Okay, I'll go for you.
Here's
Look right.
right.
I got left.
Oh, Junior came in.
Hey, I'm here with you. Don't
They're
worry.
underneath.
Oh, there's another one on me. Oh, I can't move from this one. There's 2.
I got zooked.
So did
Grab the
I.
ball. Too late for them.
They don't have a clam.
That's good.
They're
One's
coming
coming
with,
in right.
with enough clams now. Okay, good stop. Alright. We'll do one more. What is happening? Hello?
Game
Last-
things.
Okay.
3.
I was worried that, like, I lost internet connection or something because
No,
I
no,
just
no,
wasn't
no,
hearing
no.
anybody. And also the
No.
game was slowing down.
We were waiting for something to happen too. Don't worry.
Love the picture. Thank you. This isn't Kensa, this is Tenatech. Is Gluga a Slayer? Kinda. It's. You don't want to get too caught up in categorizing weapons as like a single role, because every weapon should be playing every role to some extent. But Glugas, you kind of slay with them, but you're also putting up a wall to keep yourself safe, so you got sort of, and you've got dodge rolls that you can escape with. It's sort of a combination. Works very similarly to how the K-Gal did in Splatoon 2. Just, like, worse. Because it doesn't paint as much. Oh, it's Spitewish. Spitewish is a viewer.
Oh.
Hi, Lee.
And they're rocking the carbon deco. I love getting jumped by carbon decos.
Ah, yes. Carbon Deco is not been a fun thing as of late. Oh,
Several on
thanks
left.
for the burst bump. Yep,
What?
I'm getting ambushed on the right.
Range weak.
I did not think that could hit me.
I got one shot by a blaster in Fight Club.
They're coming.
They're coming up. They're gonna come up spinner. Yep.
Traded with carbon.
Hey, man.
One trying to come in left. Got him.
There's 2 on the right.
Got one. Blaster got me.
I got blaster.
There you go. Delayed wipe.
I am stealing
Carbon's
all
first
of the
up.
clams.
Yes, do that.
Make
I
sure you
have
paint up. They've
steel
got a
for
carbon
6.
and a
Yeah,
blaster.
I'm painting up. Probably in mid. Yep.
Yeah, we probably beat these players just by outpainting them rather than trying to fight them. As long as we don't
Exactly.
get sharked, we're fine.
Oh,
Just don't give them any places to shark.
I got carbon and blastered.
3 on right.
There's one trapped in the right wing. Oh, one went left. You might be able to meet it.
They're down.
Nice. I don't know about that right corner still. Oh, yeah, blaster's still there. Oh, they directed me. No.
Roller's on left.
The blaster's still trapped in the right corner. They cannot get out.
Of course, right as soon as the wall goes up, the Zuka shot comes through.
I'm gonna... Oh, no.
I'm dead.
No, I could not save you. I'm sorry.
There's a 10 attack on our snipe.
They dropped off snipe.
Oh, no. That was a good bomb.
A shredded weight breaker.
Cool.
I'm watching left.
I've got whale ready to go.
Moving over to right.
There are 2 on spinner. 1 dropped off. Another one's still there. I'm down to blaster. Cleared him off. No, there's still 1 spinner. Blaster.
Got blaster.
Good stop. 1 on our grates. Drop down. T-Tech. They're down.
Attack
One on
dead.
the left above me here. There's 2 here. I traded with the carbon. There's still a dualies up there.
Up
They
where?
were up left. Like, up left.
Okay, dualies on our snipe.
Like snipe?
Uh-oh.
Okay, he dropped. Oh, he got it in.
I'm down to roller. Roller in a court. Alright. We need to get up there and make some space.
Oh, there's still somewhere on our
snipe. Yep. We're not
Yep.
clearing our spinner out.
Okay, I have mid painted. Oh, there's one right. T-Tech.
didn't mean to do that.
I've got
I have
6.
I saw
crap.
someone
There's one on their
sharking left.
spin. Pin.
I've got a power.
Debbie's on their spinner. I'm going in from left court. I'm down. 3
Open
in their
basket.
court. Nice booyah, nice booyah. 1 out on the
I
left.
traded.
A few more clams. If we can give a jump, I can get pity.
Yeah, go for it.
Doing it.
Job.
There we go.
Oh, I cannot see this carbon.
Alright. Just you, Shovel. Stay alive.
I got a few more points.
Alright. Spinner's gonna be up. I'm gonna try and defend it, but I don't know how much I can keep these guys off. No, I cannot at all.
Oh. Again, I can't see the carbon. Oh my gosh. I keep getting stuck between 2.
Yeah, they're going up the spinner. That's what I figured they'd do.
I'm nowhere near crab.
I'm dead. They've got a lot of clams, guys.
I got
You
their
want me?
T-Tech.
Carbon down. Traded. 1 on right. Blaster. Blaster last on left.
Blaster,
On right.
Blaster can probably get me. I don't have a lot of ink. Oh, I got it! Someone
I
got
also
it!
did.
I helped!
Yeah, I got it.
Alright.
Thanks for the assist.
They still have
do
pity,
you
so
mean I
we're
got
gonna have
the
to defend again.
Well, yep,
Get
help.
paint, get paint,
On
get
the
paint.
right. I'm down. That bomb killed me. I was too weak.
Yeah, we need to
That's
paint a little bit more carefully before we go out. Got
I
one.
know.
Spinner's going up. Keep him off.
Roller's coming in right. Nice. Blaster top mid. I think I got him. I got him.
I got
Nice.
the power clam!
Last one on left.
Down, I'm down. One down. I mean, one left.
Alright. Way to lock that down.
Jim, you should really take a quick peek in the art channel when you get a second. We got doodled. You and me got doodled.
Let's have a look. Art.
I love the double thumbs up, and I'm just kind of standing there with a blank face. I love that. It's so good.
A Devi Doovy Doodle.
That's the last one.
Resident pencil user. Nice. And then they give us a pencil sketch.
I know. It's
Are they
so
talking
good.
snipe writer? Are they talking pencil art? Are they talking both? Who's to say?
Hydras aren't easy to draw, so bravo.
Very nice. Okay, so we're gonna get started with the VOD reviews because we got a lot of them today. So we had one of you who wanted to go first. I'm trying to remember which. Sorry, I don't know voices to
Sorry, Tater Tot.
Tater Tot, got it. All right. So we'll pull that up. That is not what I was expecting it to do, but we'll work with it. Okay. And now we can go and pull this up. And by this, we mean this. There we go. And that fits well. So now I need to screen share this to Discord. Oop. And that is here. Share your screen. This. Okay. So everyone should be able to see now, including the chat. Okay. Question was, how do we get chosen for a VOD review? And the answer to that question is you ask me. On Discord... Whoa, did that change the thing? Okay, that was weird. Oh. Huh. I wonder why it's doing that. It's just like switching the screen when I've got it minimized. But that's okay. I have a list of people that I keep who have asked me, and we just get them in the order that they ask me. So hop into the Discord server for Squid School, and you can DM me from there. So that is found here. Shoot, what was I doing? There's the thing I was doing. Oh, right, I remember the thing I was doing. Okay, there's that. And one more thing that I've got to check, and then we can get started. All right. Cool. So let's get back to that. There, now it should be on screen. Can I ask you a quick question for Total Dummies? Yeah, go for it. For the record, it is much more effective to just ask the question than it is to say, I have a question, and wait for me to acknowledge that you have a question. Because otherwise, I might see the first message and not see the second one. So, just ask it. That was one of my little things when I was a teacher, where a kid would be like, I have a question, and I'd just be like, well, if you're going to say something out loud anyway, you might as well just ask the question and save this all 15 seconds. Number one tip for surviving, to be moving every time you miss a shot. You need to like fire shots, and then if you realize you're missing those shots very, very quickly, swim someplace else and then start firing again. And learn to adjust your aim while doing so. Alrighty. So, train wrecks. That's got to be a reference to the news that came out about their new streaming service lately, which, you know, for someone with the name Trainwrecks, like that's their tag, trying to start a business venture, it just makes the joke a little too easy. But we're looking at Tater Tot here. That's who we're actually interested in with this video. I don't think there's much in the way of audio here. There is a little bit of audio, but it's maxed out, and there's a lot of white noise, so I'm probably just going to mute it. And all y'all are seeing this okay? Like Tater Tot, you can see the projection?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can bump the quality up at all.
I don't know if it's
There, that's better.
Sorry about the sound.
Yeah, it's all good. All good. It sounds like it's the mic is like recording the TV or something like that. So, okay. So this is a lot of midline, whereas they have Tetras and a 52. So they're gonna have the. I would say that their comp is straight up better, just because it's able to push in easily. They do have like a good amount of midline range still. Like the Flingza and the Dually Squelchers are not the easiest thing to just walk up and push because of their range. But they also have a 52 and a Tetras, both of which are going to be able to hold forward pretty effectively, albeit in different ways. So what you're basically going to want to do here, since you don't want to just like push up with a blobber and hard engage on a 52 gal. You know, that's just not a good look for you, nor is it good for you to just get caught in a duel with the Tetra Dualies. So what you're kind of hoping for is that they move forward too aggressively, and that between all of the various sources of chip damage that you've got on this team comp, everyone's going to be able to focus that one player from different angles at longer range and take them out as they feed into you. And if you're able to accomplish that, then you'll have the numbers advantage that you need to start moving forward and take space and get into their basket. But it's going to be a slow process, which is unfortunate because this is the slowest map mode in the entire video game. This is a map mode that I routinely expect to go to a scoreless overtime. Usually, if one team scores, that means the other team has made multiple massive team-wide mistakes to allow it to happen. Because usually that's like, you need to wipe them to get into position, and then you need to wipe them a second time after you wiped them the first time to actually make it all the way to the basket, because the ways to the basket are so difficult to get to. It's not super easy to do, and the basket is really close to spawn, so it's fairly easy for the defenders to get in time to stop it. So let's see how this goes. All right, so we're moving out here on the left. We want to be a little bit careful about this kind of a position, just because if we don't know for sure that there isn't someone sharking on top of here, if they drop over the ledge, they're going to be able to get in range of you pretty quickly. And I think you can slosh up over the top of this from further back than you currently are. Like, I don't think you have to actually hug the wall like you're doing here to be able to get shots up over the top. So you probably want to put a little bit more distance between you and it, just as a general rule, so you don't get dropped on like that. But yeah, it's really good that you're lobbing up over the top of the truck to clear this area, because this is a really common place that people want to stand, and denying that is going to make it a lot more difficult for them, especially if there are longer ranged weapons like you see here, the Dually Squelchers. They're taking off angles, trying to tack on extra damage. That's a really potent combination. You guys are doing a good job of pairing with each other and getting that chip damage down. Now, this player on the left is a bit of concern right now, and we want to make sure to be keeping enough space that they can't get on top of us. But, yeah, with a player going in and starting to dive on them a little bit, that could be good still. Our aim is getting a little erratic here. It's getting a little bit like all over the place, much less consistent than it has been before. And I think a lot of that is because you're jumping. The jumping is like good for like moving, but if it's going to compromise your aim, prioritize the aim first, because that's all that's really stopping someone. If you're not putting shots in their way, then you're just giving them more time to get their aim on, right? So make sure that the aim comes first, and if you're going to jump, that you're lining your shots up so that as you jump, it's not going to like jitter your camera or anything like that. Also, in situations like this, you actually have a better opportunity to hit this player if you go for bank shots. Do you know about that with the blobber? I can show that really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure. I think I might have been trying to hit bank shots off of the right side when they were coming around.
Gotcha.
I don't remember exactly what was going through my head, but yeah, I make use of bank shots.
Okay, cool. Just to illustrate this for the folks who are watching who might not know about it, I'm going to switch over real quick. So, if you're attacking a target that's moving, and they're right next to a wall, you have the option to either do this, and like you can look at like how wide of a space that covers, like what that has control over, or you can bank shot, and I'm going to wait for it to move past so that the shots don't get blocked by it. And then you can do something like this. And you can see that from here to here is actually a much wider area. And it gives you a little bit more room for error for hitting these shots than if you were to try and hit them straight on. So if we see here... Oh, missed that one. It's just a little bit more difficult. So the bank shots are actually a better idea for making sure that you hit them. So that's what we're talking about there. So, like, maybe bouncing off... and you can see my mouse, right? Maybe not. It's not showing up on OBS.
No, I don't see it.
Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, well... the left truck over here is one wall that you could potentially be using. You could also be trying to bounce them off the pillow. But yeah, like, they're gradually moving to the left, and so seeing what you have painted and what they have painted, what you want to be doing is putting shots where you expect they're going to want to move. So in this case, they have pink ink all over to their right, and they haven't been, like, stopping to paint their feet or anything. So since the only green paint they have is to the left, you want to be aiming at that green paint. But you do a good job keeping yourself alive. Ooh, and you get the one shot there. Nice. Yeah, I'm glad that you're not afraid to, like, you know, get at closer range and get behind cover as need be to, like, scramble and get out of a situation. That's... Despite the fact that, you know, it's not where your weapon usually wants to be, it's important to be able to do that just in case. And from here, with this many players down, we need to be creating a power clam, like, immediately. Like, yes, they got enough clams from the right-hand side, but they would have gotten that power clam faster if you had thrown clams to them, too. And they would have already scored by now. This player is in a lot of danger now because since it's taken them longer to get the power clam made, these players have had more time to get close to them, and you can see the Flings is already getting a vertical flick ready. So they have to hit this shot now, and they didn't hit it in time. And now everybody's going down, and we don't score. So I think that is... Granted, the player had time to throw that power clam in and didn't. They took way too long to line the shot up and aim it. They could definitely have done that based on the situation they were in, but you make that process much, much faster if you're helping to throw the clams at the player who is receiving the power clam too. Like, if somebody's already throwing them clams, then you throw your clams at them too, and just get that power clam as fast as possible. Even if you throw one extra by mistake, that can be picked up later, but getting the basket open is the priority there because that's the most vulnerable part of this whole process. After the basket's open, y'all can just use individual clams and spread way out, and you can throw them from further away, and you're not going to be visible to the enemy team because of the clam you're holding. Like, there are a lot of advantages to not having the power clam, to having that thrown already, and only having the individual clams. But we need to get to that step first. And so the first priority, once you end up in that kind of they're wiped situation, let's rush to the basket, is you need to get that power clam made as soon as possible. And the way you do that is by passing the clams. It was maybe a little bit tricky there because the one player had 4 and you also had 4. So the question is, like, who do we throw them to? Because, like, the idea is you throw them to whoever has the most, whoever's the closest to getting there already. But you know, if they both have the same amount, then what you're basically going to do is just throw them to the person who's closest to the basket at that point. So you were further back than that player was, and they had the same number of clams as you, so you just chuck them at them, and then they can get the clam in faster. So really close. You guys are playing the neutral game really well. Just need to capitalize faster on the objective when you get the opportunity to. With the whale, I guess it is locking on to train wrecks here now that I look at it, but for a second I thought that was locked onto you. If the whale is locked onto you, you need to be moving not parallel to it, not in the same direction that it's going, but sideways. So like in this case, left or right is where you wanted to be going to make it so that it's not going to just stay on you long enough to splat you. Having seen that there is a player over here, someone that threw a bomb at you, I just kind of instinctively know, okay, there's enemy ink flying at me from the left side. That's something I need information on before I expose myself over the top. So as soon as I get here, and especially since the lasers are revealing our position because they're pointing at us, they're not actually targeted at you, but you're going to the same spot as a teammate who is being targeted, so that's going to be a big visual indicator. The opponent already saw you dropping down, like they know you're here, and so we need to make sure that before we pop up over the top and like look at one thing, that we're not going to get splatted by something on the left-hand side here, especially since we've already taken a little bit of damage from being inside the whale. Okay, so team is holding. Wow, we're playing. Those guys are killing it.
Ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you just said that. Should I have from like the start of that? Should I have just gone left to begin with? Like
so the previous thing here. So from here, there are a lot of things that you can do. Like it's not even necessarily a bad thing to drop here. Just at this point, you don't have this wall to paint up, so it's going to take you a while to get up on the left truck if you want to do that. Or, sorry, to the right truck if you want to do that. And there's already a teammate who's going up in this direction. If you're trying to support them, I would probably go up this wall, maybe. Maybe heal up on the side, since it's going to be faster to go this way. And if the opponents start shooting at this player, they're not going to be hitting me at the same time. And from here, you can, put some blobs over the right. You can also keep closer track of the player on the left. And if you get onto this wall, do you know about the squid roll to get up through the grate from here?
Yeah.
So if you get up this wall, every time you go up a wall, first of all, especially if there's like any kind of danger that you think might be nearby, it's smart to sit on the wall for a split second and use the 3D camera to look up over the top. The third-person camera, I should say, to look over the top and see if there's someone who's threatening you right away. And if the player who's on top mid right now gets too close, you could just squid roll back on the grate and run away. And that's an escape route for you. Because from here, if this player on top mid comes at you, you don't really have that many places you can leave to. If you drop down here, they still have high ground over you, especially if they're getting up on top mid. That has to mean that they're trying to push over to this side, so they will probably chase you if you have to drop back from there and actually be on top of you. Whereas if you go from here and you can do the squid roll back onto the grate, then that gives you an opportunity to leave completely and get back to your plat behind you if they decide to keep pushing this. So that's probably what I'm thinking to do here. But I definitely, the major thing, the underlying like fundamental idea here is I want more information before I jump up over the top of the ledge here. I want more information before I put myself in a place where I have no cover. Because right now I just don't know where anything is that's threatening me. And I mean, we know that a bomb just dropped over the left, and as we come up here we start to see these shots. It's probably a little late because we're already so damaged. But up until like those shots and that bomb and stuff, we don't know exactly what that player's intentions are on the left. Are they throwing the bomb and then backing up? Are they throwing the bomb and then dropping to fight another teammate? Or are they coming at me? We don't know that for sure. We can't really see where they are. We don't know what to be afraid of. And we're putting ourselves in a place where a teammate already is, so they're probably already going to get shot at for that reason. Like, those shots were actually probably aimed at your teammate. They were probably aimed at Trainwrecks, looking at when they came in. They were thinking that you were them, that you were still there, I think. The maps are very tight, very claustrophobic, but it is still important to try and make a little bit of distance between you and a teammate when you can, so that the opponent can't easily hit like both of you at once, or one of you and then the other really quickly. But your team cleans up really well on the left-hand side here. They get 3. And there's the last one. So this is a delayed wipe. And while you are not like the primary pushing weapon, here, whenever you get the opportunity to push up and take a better position, further forward position, and start locking them down, it's important to do that, especially on a map like this where it takes so long to get into the enemy base. The more space you can take in these transition periods where you know that you have a big advantage, the better. Because otherwise, you just give the enemy team too much time to walk back into mid and get on defense again. Like, there's nobody that you can possibly be hitting right now because we've just wiped everybody. And I think it's just a matter of knowing that that happened. So, like, out in front of us, we can see that 2 players are down right here. And then we see that another player goes down up here, and we see that X on the screen as well. So we know that there's only 1 player left, and then we see that player out over here, and that player goes down there. So, yes, these 2 players are up, but they're respawning. And because I'm keeping track of that information, I know that like it would be safe for me to move at least up onto the truck on the right, maybe even up onto the enemy truck if I'm fast enough. I want to get to a position where I'm not just in neutral anymore, where we're taking advantage of the fact that there are players down, and like the front line, your frontline players are pushed further up, and your job is to lock in the space that they've won by getting those picks. So we've got to like move up far enough that if somebody tries to approach this space that the frontliners are now taking, you're going to be able to stop them from getting there. You're also, in that situation, on the same exact spot as another player with a pretty decent amount of range. It's always more valuable to have 2 longer ranged weapons be looking from a different angle from each other, because then they can possibly see around cover. If one of them sees around the cover and the other doesn't, then the one can flush that player out into the other one's sight lines. Whereas if they're standing from the same place, they're both able to hit the same things, and that cuts their value that they're getting from those positions. So if you ever find yourself just like standing on top of another backline weapon, like a Hydra or a Charger or a Jet Squelcher or something, just try and move someplace else, and that way you're going to be able to flush people out from behind cover into the other backliners' sightlines. All right, nice. I like that you're recognizing that there's a fight over here, that the play is over here, and you're moving to support that. We're not in a position where we can really have that much of an impact. If you're going to try and engage on this fight, you need to be getting to the far right to get around this wall, because the fall off is going to be really inconsistent, and if you try to hit bank shots, they're going to bounce this way instead of bouncing towards the player who's on the left over here. So you have to kind of make a decision like, am I going to try and help with this fight, or am I going to position to cover another angle to support this fight in the meantime? As I've talked to like a bunch of other teams before, very recently about, as a general rule, you only want to be taking 1 fight at a time. So that doesn't mean that like every single player on your team needs to be actively engaged with their main weapon in that fight, but it means that if they see that there's another fight happening, they want to at least like throw a bomb at that fight or do something to interfere with that fight, or if they can't do any of that, at least to not take another engagement elsewhere on the map, and instead to kind of kite that engagement, to zone that engagement off and prevent that player that you're fighting with elsewhere from interfering with the fight that the rest of your team is taking. So from here, we need to decide kind of what we want to do in order to help this. I feel like bank shots off the far right wall are probably not going to be super reliable here. So if you want to engage on this, you want to move all the way to the far right to get the angle around. If not, I would be looking off to the left here to see if there are any opponents on the left side, since most of your team is focused on the right. and see if there's anybody that you can distract long enough for this fight to be won by your teammates. Okay, so your team is moving up, and this is a great position right here to just take control of the plat with. Like, you don't even necessarily have to pick this up yet. You can just kind of... I almost... You don't have a ton of time just because the power clam is going to despawn. But what could actually work here is to literally just, like, stand further away from them and keep them locked down with blobs, and hope that your teammate here is able to take advantage of that to get in. So we get this scored. Yes, because we see someone already painting over here. If you just, like, suppress this player and get their shield down, get their splash wall down, the player on the left might be able to move in and do something about that. Because we go in as early as we do, like, right now your teammates have actually backed up, and one of them has gone down. So there's actually less for these opponents to keep them focused on the front than there is to keep them focused on you. So you'll score, but that's all you're going to get. Now your team is wiped. There's no rush. Like, we're in a really strong position right now. They're a little bit staggered. We can kind of play the long game here. We don't have to, like, get antsy and try to go in for this. Because... oh, you do actually trade one on the way down. That's not bad. But, like, that looked like such a strong position that I feel like you guys could have gotten more out of it. And a little bit of patience might have paid off there. On most maps, I say that it's really important to only score when you can keep the basket open, to score when there's actual follow-up that can come from your teammates. On this map, honestly, that score of 80 might just hold for the entire game, so we'll see how this goes. I am not super comfy about the fact that you were the furthest player forward in this situation. You don't need to be far enough forward that that player can hit you in order to hit them. There's no need to be in their range. There's no need to be challenging them up this close because you have range over them. So you could just back up out of their range, put the blobs in their way, and that would force them to back up and let your teammate, who is better equipped to be frontlining, go in after them, and you'd still be supporting them that way. Also, the jump shots, like, there are definitely times where it's valuable to be able to jump and shoot with this weapon. I also worry, though, that it's going to make you more vulnerable to bombs if you're just constantly, like, jumping in place, because all the dually squelchers would have had to do there was roll a splat bomb at your feet, and you wouldn't have been able to swim away in time before it went off. So be very mindful that that's a mechanical habit that you're developing, and that might get used against you sometimes. Also, if you're going to be jumping, at least be moving with the jump. Don't be jumping in place. Jumping in place doesn't do you very much good at all. If you're going to be jumping, use the jump to move you somewhere while the shots are coming out. It's better with a slosher class weapon. Like, that's why I'm not saying just, like, don't do it. If you were aiming and shooting like that with a shooter weapon, I'd be like, no, absolutely do not do that. And with a slosher type weapon, it's different because your fire rate is slow enough that you were going to be frozen in place firing that shot for a really long time anyway. And so you're not actually, like, decreasing your mobility by that much by moving. In fact, you might be increasing it if you're jumping maybe to the side while you put the shots out. So I am not a blobber main, and so I don't have the exact, like, movement pattern figured out perfectly. But I would watch someone like Isaac, a top-level blobber player. He was like 2800 X power in Splatoon 2 on the blobber specifically. Go watch someone like Isaac sometime and see how they're moving and how they're shooting, and try to kind of copy those mechanical habits. Like right here, you're basically jumping in place. Like that movement isn't really doing anything for you. And it worries me that because it's not really doing much, that you're doing it at all, because that tells me that you're not thinking that much about why you're jumping here. Like there, if you had not shot and jumped, I think you probably could have swam off the ledge here sooner. Because see, now that you're trying to move quickly, you're launching one slosh and then swimming through it. Just think about that and try and work out when it's actually advantageous and when it's just kind of making you take longer to be able to move again. So really quick thing here, because, this is obviously scary, but this patch of ink is small enough that you could just jump over it, so no need to slosh. You could save yourself some time by skipping that step as you move. Especially there. Like, all of this right here, these shots, they are not moving you further away from this player at this time. Your top priority right now is just not getting rolled over by them, because if you stand still, that will 100% happen. If you run past this player on the left here, it might not happen because they're getting shot at. So what you probably wanted to do to get away is you hop over this patch of ink, use all of this pink to just swim, and then once you get to this wall, squid roll up the wall, and then maybe you can turn around and face them. Because at that point, they can't roll up this ledge. They have to start flicking at that point if they're going to try and hit you. And they don't really have a great angle yet. So if you put some blobs out there in front of you, that could discourage them. And then you can worry about whatever this guy's doing here. But you've got a teammate who's already focused on them. They're putting the wall up to focus on your teammate. You've got teammates from over here who have nothing better to do but shoot this player. So I think you have a better chance exposing yourself to this player than you do sitting still and getting splatted by the player who's running behind you. Man, they really just wanted to roll people, huh? They got that bloodlust. They rolled all the way from right truck down to their drop, through mid, all the way around, and got splatted on the far left side just to be able to roll people over. Okay, so that leaves us at what, a 1v2? 1v2. And your teammate has a power clam, but fortunately they're on the right side of the map, and the opponents are not trying to rotate around it or anything. And you're actually able to come in and get a splat, which is awesome. Now, immediately, you need to get off the line that your teammate is on. Like, you're standing directly in front of your teammate. You don't want to accidentally shot block. Some weapons you're not going to shot block, but other weapons you will. And even just getting out of the habit of doing so is going to be important, especially on the back line. Another reason is that if this player who you're fighting starts getting their shots on, they're going to hit one player and then immediately be hitting the other player behind you as soon as they're down. Whereas if you guys spread out a little bit, they can only hit one of you at a time. They have to shift their aim in between aiming at one and aiming at the other. So let's see what we do here. All right, our teammate ends up doing the movement for us, but you just kind of stand there in the same spot. It would be better for, if your teammate is on the right, for you to go to the far left. To spread yourselves out as far as you possibly can while still getting an angle on this fight. I would probably at this point start moving up onto the right-hand side and be ready for the jump that's coming in. Did you notice the jump when it was coming in, the arrow right there?
I probably, but I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
I can't remember.
Because you launched this shot, and then instead of moving forward to a position where you would be able to punish it better, you back up. This puts you at an angle where you're probably not going to be able to put any shots on them as they land. So in this case, you wanted to be moving forward so you could get that better angle. And now they kind of just get in. Oh, you catch them, though. What a shot. And now there's another jump right there. All right, good job getting that player. Unfortunately, this player was able to get a wall up before, but nice. All right, so we're able to clean them up because having a blah 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 there is definitely helpful for the rest of the team to clean those up. Nice. So I like that we're kind of trying to approach from two different angles. I would be a little bit careful about how close we're getting to the block right now. Given that they've had time to spawn back in, you don't want a situation where someone can surprise you and drop from somewhere where they're in range of you all of a sudden. So, like, knowing that there's a player here, this is a little bit closer than you need to be getting to them. But the blobs... Nice. Yeah, the blobs are going to be great for, like, just... You don't even have to try and hit fall off. You don't have to try and, like, aim it up and over the top. Just aim at this back wall and bank them off that way. Or aim them at the side wall here if you think that they're closer to the left. I think that gives you much better chances of hitting these than trying to, like, lod them up over the top of something where you're going to get that big wide arc. And it's just going to miss that stuff. Same thing here. You don't need to get super close to them. You can actually back up and just try and bank shot off of these walls, and that'll still cut off an angle for them. If you get too close, that lets the shorter range weapons get close enough to you to do lethal damage. And if one of those had been like the roller, they prefer to be super close to you. Yeah, that would... See, this is how powerful that position is on the right. And, like, when I was talking about that first push and being like... Don't even, like, try to push in. Just, like, stand here and keep doing that. Because you see how devastating this was. You just got 2 splats and a 1v3. It's just so good here because they have no cover from it. The only place they can hide is this little cubby right here if they can get there in time. So, like, this is a super good place for you to be, and you don't really need to push the basket if you're creating that kind of threat on the opponents. They have to look at you, and your teammates can get in over the front, and you know that you have people with you. The danger and the reason that you keep getting splatted from this position is if you actually do close distance and make the enemy team's job easier by letting them get in range of you. Because if that happens, then they're going to splat you faster, especially if they rush you down. So just use your range and, like, even back up by dropping down if you need to make it work. But you've got very close to the exact right idea for how to hold from this right side. You just need to, like, not be putting yourself in danger while you're doing it, and that will create a huge problem for the enemy team. In fact, like, you don't even need to be up on the plat. You could just be sitting on this block if that's where you're safe. You could, like, immediately, as soon as you get threatened, drop off the block and use the block for cover, and use that to be able to swim away. Like, take your time getting up here, because you've got so much control on the map right now that you can kind of milk this position for all it's worth. But as soon as you go down, you're going to lose all of that positioning. So better to preserve your life in that situation than to get a little bit too aggressive and end up trading. Because in a trade situation here, they're way, way, way closer on the respawn to their basket than you are. There's no way that you're going to be able to get back into that exact same position after you respawn. But they're going to be able to get back into that position before after they respawn. So if you're going to try and, like, keep stage position, if you want to preserve your life by backing up a little bit instead of being backed up all the way, by which I mean backed up to your own spawn. Rolling back in. And this is exactly what I was worried about at the beginning of the match. That if you're playing too close to this drop, that someone's just going to fall on you, have a faster kill time, and this is going to happen. You actually play this really well to trade, because this is not a weapon that's, that splats slowly. Like, this is something that you really needed to hit that one shot to have any chance of trading this. So, good job getting the trade, but if you play just a little bit further back from the drop right here, there's much less of a chance that this... Hello? Whoa.
Hello? I can hear you, but it's
Okay.
frozen.
Yeah, it's frozen on screen. I don't know what happened to my mouse for a second there. That was weird. Okay. Well, the stream didn't go down or anything. Like, call didn't go down either, did it?
And no, I'm
Okay.
still hearing you.
Gotcha. I'm gonna really quick go and... Oh my god, what is happening? My screen's flickering. Technical difficulties. Please hold for just a second. Okay. Capture card is fixed. Webcam is fixed. All right, sorry about that. Alrighty. Sorry about that, folks. We're back. Capture card I use is the Elgato HD60S. I do generally recommend it. It's a little bit tricky to get it to hook up to OBS, but once you do manage to do so, I haven't had problems with it at all. So, okay. Anyway. So we talked about that engagement. That's you just want to stay a little bit further back from any ledges that people could potentially drop on you from, so that you're able to use your range and they're not able to close in on you and take that advantage that you have away from you. Oh, did not. Okay, there we go. There's the wipe. Nice. Now, the one thing we don't want to do is fall off in the front, because from here, there's really no impact that we can have on the game. And there's not really any reason to be jumping from up there. Nobody's shooting at you. There's nowhere you have to move. So the jumping is really only going to make it harder for you to aim and make it so that you potentially, fall off the ledge as you're trying to slosh. So, nice. Your goal here is to keep this player who's in front of you away from you. Like, in the general case, the blobbers thing, the way that it's going to take fights, is it's going to put blobs in the way of the opponent so that they cannot approach it. And it's able to just safely use its range and paint obnoxiously much and from an obnoxiously long distance, and put out threat that the opponents have to deal with to make it more difficult for them to move around the map while still staying very safe. So there's no reason to shark here. They saw you jump across, and if you give them time, all they're going to do is move closer to you so that they can get to a position where they can win a fight. You want to be putting blobs out where they're going to be moving preemptively. You want to be doing something to actually stop them from advancing forward. And sitting here for this long and then throwing a sprinkler, not only is that sprinkler not going to do anything to actually stop them from advancing on you, it's also going to exhaust a lot of your ink tank. And so now we haven't fired any shots at them yet. They're already in range, and we're at like a third of our ink tank. So our teammate ends up cleaning that up, but there wasn't any reason to not just start sloshing as soon as you got up over the top. Use those blobs as your defense mechanism. Use them to get in the way of whatever is coming towards you. Because that's the only thing on your kit that really has that much stopping power. Nice. All right. So these are good shots. That's what is it even that you get on this player? Oh, it's the rain. It's the rain that actually gets them. And the rain is super nice up here because if you can stay up here long enough to get the rain. It's, my Switch is saying internet connection lost. Did I go out on stream or anything?
No, you're still good with me.
Okay. Let me check something really quick. There's something wacky going on with my Switch dock or something. And it's not something that's messing with the stream. It's just if I want the game to be on, I want it available and to not have to like reboot my Switch or something in between. So, okay. Hopefully it stops now. All right. Anyway, one of the nice things about like playing to preserve your life here is that if you stay up here long enough and paint enough, you get the rain, and that's a great way to actually clear out this corner, which is like the one place up here that you can't hit. So another reason just to keep yourself alive up here instead of to, it's still doing it. I'm just going to turn the TV off because that's really distracting. So that's another reason to play to preserve your life over trying to like go in too hard to take the plat yourself to frontline a bit. Always like try to play from like close to your max range, or as close to your max range as the position allows you to be, so that you're again playing to that range advantage. Obviously, this is a little bit different if there is like an enemy backliner that has longer range than you in the game, but that should be kind of the overall idea. But you are able to get enough picks here and create enough space that your teammates are able to get in from the left-hand side and score. And that is kind of the way that it needs to work on Mincemeat. You really need pressure from both the right and the left side to reliably get in there. And you do a good job of accomplishing that, of recognizing where your weapon is strong at doing that, because trying to lob blobs from the left side over that bridge where they're just going to fall through the grates, not super reliable. But coming from the right, definitely a lot better for you, and it gives you a lot of opportunities to back up. So, strong game from you overall, and congrats on the 8 ranked points. Do you have any questions for me?
Nothing is really like immediately coming to mind. I think like with the jumping, I think I like purposefully developed that habit because of, I don't remember like what video I think I saw in one of your videos something about jumping with a slosher, and like now it's just like become all like heavily ingrained, and I don't even think about it anymore. But that was helpful for you to point out, so thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for volunteering your footage for the stream. It's never a super easy thing to be criticized in front of a bunch of people, and I appreciate the heck out of the humility that it takes to do that. So thank you. We're going to move on to our next VOD reviewee. I don't know that we have Unlocked Ocean ready yet. All right, cool. We do have Unlocked Ocean, so I'll get them into the voice call really quickly. But in the meantime, we can also work on getting it was Luxury Shovel booted up here.
Done. Or am I going after?
We will... Let's see. Oh, there's Unlocked Ocean. Hi, Unlocked Ocean. They are in the voice call. They're just muted at the moment. We can get started with Luxury Shovel. And then once Unlocked Ocean has been able to get their stuff figured out, we'll be ready for them too. So.
What do I need to do still?
There you are. I was just waiting for you to like be ready with the call because you were muted the whole time and I wasn't sure if you were around and stuff. I'm gonna. Get
I was just
both
in the
of
waiting room muted.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm gonna get the codes put in here for both of y'all at the same time, and then we'll just get started with shovel.
Excellent.
Oh, NLD. Because I think you both had replay codes, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's shovel, so we're downloading that. And then the other one that we wanted can be found here. There it is. Uh, 3V14 TXMR and W193. There. And there it is. Okay. We're going to have a flounder match. I'm excited for that one. But first, we're going to start off with Tower Control Sturgeon. So it looks like this is a team. Is this just Anarchy Open?
No, it's a scrim.
Okay. Cool. So taking a look at the comps here, we're running Double Bubble with a Booyah Bomb on the Hydra and a Crab. And then on the other side, they've got a Wave Breaker instead of the bubble. 2 Wave Breakers, actually, instead of the bubble. Interesting. I'm curious to see what the double Wave Breaker ends up doing for them, because I haven't seen that played here, but it could be interesting.
There was another game where there were 3 wave breakers.
Yeah, I'm wondering where they're going to place those.
It is a strat. It is a strat for tower control. Good Morning actually used it against us twice. I will say that. Double Wave
Interesting.
Breaker and double bubble on tower.
All right. So, the one thing that I would say about your comp here that is a potential concern is the amount of paint. You have both a blaster and a Hydra that are both not the best painting weapons, and so that's going to put a lot of pressure on the Splash and the Mini to keep up with you guys.
That's like the -- thing that's said about all of our teams. We make a comp and we're like, hey, I don't think we have enough paint.
Yeah, it's sometimes the weapon pool just makes it difficult. So like something like swapping out the blaster for a junior or the Hydra for a machine or something like that, you know, those kinds of things can help. But it's all a matter of who plays what and whether that's a possibility for you. So
yeah, our blaster can't play juniors.
Gotcha. Well, whatever it is that you can work out, because, you know, sometimes swapping weapons around, you know, there's a way to work it out. But since this is a team review, I'm just going to pop it into the overhead and watch from here. That's good with you?
Yep.
All right. So it looks like we see someone on the right side and the blaster's already going over to it, so hopefully this is being called, and Draco on the left knows not to engage on the left yet, because like I've said, as a general rule, you want your team to be focused on one fight at a time. You want everybody to be doing what they are doing in order to make it so that that one fight is being won, rather than trying to take a second fight at the same time. If Draco engages here, they're going to be in a 3v1, and they're not going to have any help from their teammates, because their teammates are already engaged in another fight someplace else. And that's going to mitigate what the advantage is on the right-hand side here. Great job using the blaster to get an advantage on the right. Totally fine that the mini goes down because that's a 2-for-1 trade, and so that gives you advantage. And at this point, we want someone getting on tower. We've got a numbers advantage. We've got a lot of mid control. We're starting to push up. We want to be getting someone on tower now so that we can take advantage of this before the numbers advantage runs out. Every numbers advantage is temporary, and the faster you start taking advantage of it, the faster you start getting value out of it, the better.
Yeah.
So we already want Shovel getting up onto tower. We don't want them firing these extra shots. We want Shovel getting up there onto the tower so that Clem can move up and try and like take out this heavy who's on snipe so that they can't do this. If Clem were able to move forward from here instead of go back to the tower, we'd have a lot more control over the right-hand side already.
Can I add another thing to this one?
Yep.
Especially with how this new minis kit is. Clem is actually more suited to ride the tower than Shovel is in this case because Clem has a bubble. It's not up right now, but it's charging on the tower and Clem can still paint around. If Shovel was up there, Shovel's actually better suited to the heavy. 1, outranges, 2, has the kit that can actually displace it with the chicken and the fall-off shots. So
Okay.
in this case, actually Clem would be a better tower rider. But I do see your point in the first place. It's 2 different scenarios. It just depends on who's more confident and being up and can win that 1v1 with the other splat lane. And if Clem takes the fight with the heavy, they're outranged. But Shovel is not.
Gotcha.
So that's how I kind of see it.
I was thinking for Clem to like get underneath the snipe and use the AoE to hit up and around it, but I think they both kind of have at least some kind of advantage over it. I can agree that like having the Hydra up there will be powerful. And I know that you don't always ride the tower from first checkpoint, so either way, the problem stands that we have 2 people standing on the tower, and that means that we're not pushing up and getting space, and the enemy team is going to be able to defend a lot earlier because of the lack of forward pressure. It's just Draco, and just Draco is not going to be able to hold the whole enemy team off of getting to the tower from here. So get one of you, whoever is best suited, to a different position that's further forward or more aggressive so that you can actually get this snipe cleared out and focus your attention more on court and the top right. All right. So now we do spread out, and this is the kind of positioning that like I like to see, where you've got one person guarding the left flank, you've got one person riding tower, and then the other 2 are in front of the tower. I think this is great, and since the enemy team, they've been able to move a lot further up because you haven't been holding your positions forward as fast because you've had someone on the tower for so long, and we took a second to get anyone on the tower in the first place. So they could be further back right now on the map once we get to this position, but we got here and we're in our good positions, so now let's see what we can do with them. Big Dub is getting pushed into the bottom mid here, but in the meantime we get 2 in a great fight on the right side. Now Big Dub needs to be calling out if they're not covering the left flank anymore. Like, this should not be a thing that's catching Shovel off guard. Because this fight happened on the opposite end of the map before it came over here. So if Big Dub is calling that, like, left flank is beating me or something like that, like, we want Shovel to be turning and looking at this so that they can follow up and cover it. Because the front is going quite well. If we're able to just keep the tower here, if we're able to collapse on this flank, we probably win the game off of this push by itself. But because the tower gets stopped, that's going to stall this out for a really long time.
Yeah.
So now, look at what happens to the
Clem and Big Dub.
Sorry, what was that?
I said I realized I mixed up Clem and Big Dub earlier. I was just specifically talking about the mini, but the names were over.
Oh, so you were saying that you want the mini to be the one who's...
on the tower, yes.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
My bad.
So anyway, because we look at this situation right now, because the tower went down, where is our front line? We've got 2 frontliners who are back behind the tower, And then we've still got the mini who ended up in a tough spot and is just trying to fend for themselves at the moment on the left. So there's nobody keeping the enemy team off the tower anymore. We end up coming back and collapsing on this, but we've just completely lost the tower push, and all because of one fight. Not even a fight that we lost, just a fight that, like, you had to disengage from. And if Shovel had just been made aware of that or reacted to it quicker, you would have been able to keep the tower throughout that happening and been able to just, like, clean that one player up or keep them away from you and let the front line stay up in front in the powerful positions that they'd earned themselves. And you'd be in really good shape. You'd probably at least be through that last checkpoint by now. So that probably comes down to communication. I can't hear what exactly was going on in the comms. But that's something where, like, it's a coordinated team, and so that's the kind of thing that, like, you guys have the ability to counterplay.
Yeah, communication has been identified as one of our team's weaknesses.
Gotcha. And it is for most new teams. It is a skill that you are not going to learn ever from playing solo queue. In fact, playing solo queue might sometimes make you worse at it, because what happens to a lot of players is they get used to being able to focus all of their mental energy on just their mechanics and decision making. And when you add a third element of having to coordinate with your team, you can't focus all of your energy on those things anymore, and so you're forced to make the decision, am I going to just not say anything and try and play as well as I do mechanically in solo queue, or am I going to start playing for the team, sacrificing maybe a little bit of that mechanical ability to develop more of a strong macro strategy? And while... So there's a lot of talk about the concept of a shot caller, where there's someone whose job it is to decide what needs to happen next on the team and to call for it. My personal opinion is that everyone should be able to shot call when they see a good opportunity, because sometimes one player isn't in a position to see an opportunity that somebody else is. So, like, on the Grillers, I would try to make frontline calls, but Devi on the back line, who is very knowledgeable about the game, has a great perspective on the game, literally, like, she plays from the back line and from high up, so she can see more of the map at a time. A lot of the time she would make a call, and that call was usually better than the one that I was able to make, because she was saying something when she saw something that I couldn't see. So everybody needs to be able to shot call. And so, a drill that I've had done before on teams that I've been on that can help with this is to go into a match where only one person is allowed to speak at all. And that player needs to call every fight that the team goes into. Remember, the entire team should be focused on one fight at a time. So you don't take any fights until this one player calls them, and it's only the one player who can call them. And you try and just put that person into a position where nothing will happen until they say something. And that's when that sort of thing can sometimes push someone to really work on that skill and start to hone it. It can also help if you're practicing the callouts in solo queue. Just say what you would normally say out loud. Now, that has the weakness that nobody's ever going to follow up on it when you say something. And so that might just get really frustrating. But it's something that I've found can help. Even just to say, push left, and then you don't push your left yourself because you know your teammates aren't going to follow up. Maybe that helps. I don't know. It might develop bad habits that way too. So some thoughts for how to deal with that, but there needs to be someone who's making the overall play calls. And if that's not a thing that's going on, if, you know, if, like, there are threats that are going unsaid, if there are plays you're making that your team doesn't know about, that's making it impossible for you to play as a team. Not that it's making it harder, that, like, if you don't call out a push before you make the push, there's just not enough. It takes too long for someone to react versus being told, and they're not going to be there in time with you to make the play as fast as you could. So we got to get you guys talking, and that's something where, like, do some drills to force yourself to talk. Do not accept that we're not talking enough. Like, force yourselves to fix that aspect of the team. And I'd be happy at some point, obviously we'd have to book another session or something, but I'd be happy to go over a VOD that you guys take of the whole team with comms, because that would help us diagnose what's going on a little bit better and give me a better idea of what to tell you to do.
Oh, yeah.
But we're looking really good right now. We clean up everything on the left. Right now, let's back up to... Oh, wow, this game goes for a long time after this. So
It goes for the full 5 minutes.
So there's one behind, and Draco recognizes that and goes and gets it. Right now, priorities are whatever threatens the tower. So I like that Clem is going after the heavy. I like that Big Dub is up here on the top right, although it looks like we hadn't spotted out the junior. Great Booyah Bomb there. I love throwing Booyah Bomb. Uh-huh.
Yeah, what happens there is the junior is trying to hide from me, but I have thermal ink, so I can see him.
That's funny. So if you could see them, then that's something that Big Dub should have known about, because they're shooting in the opposite direction of that junior. So that's a call out that should be made there. If they're up there and, like, Big Dub is going up there, because that's all you really have to be looking at. That's something where you need to be calling, like, junior sharking top right, so that Big Dub looks at that and not what they end up looking at. But I love this Booyah Bomb. For those who don't know, if you throw a Booyah Bomb at a wall, it will just still expand past the wall. It just goes through things. And so if the junior doesn't see where the Booyah Bomb gets thrown, or, like, isn't able to get out of the way, throwing it at that wall gives it less warning about where the Booyah is landing. So we get back up on the tower, and we've got Draco up on the plat. We've got Clem from below it threatening it. Big Dub is able to jump back in. This is looking like it should be a knockout.
And this is where it falls apart.
So the big problem here is that the front line wasn't able to get quite far up enough to stop the heavy. The heavy being a threat on tower there is what prevents this from going as far as going all the way to the end. But you got to push to 3. So Clem, at this point, yeah, I mean, it's a 1v2, but you have an advantageous position. I don't necessarily blame you for going for a pick if you can get one. Might be able to, like, get some control, give some jumps back, and get the team back in. So it's an aggressive play, and, like, maybe a little bit on the reckless side, but you scored to 3. Even if you go down here, the tower is going to take forever to get back to mid, and your team is in a winning position. So from here, this should be a winning game. And sure, maybe it has to go to time. You have to stall it out, but you have a lot of opportunities to mess up and still win this game. So let's see how we play it from here.
And that's what happens.
So we come back to mid, and they're going to have maybe like 60% map control or something. Not a huge problem or anything, but we want to make sure we're getting into good defensive positions here. So it looks like Shovel goes out on the top right here and might actually be able to catch the tower. Perfect. Beautiful. And now from here, it's just like, all right, we've got numbers advantage. Let's pressure a little bit. The one thing to be careful about is that they have a crab tank. They have specials because they've been painting this whole time. So you may not want to rush in and, like, hard commit to a fight right now, just because they have the special, and the crab tank can sometimes count for 2 players at once. And we also go one down. The left side here, by the way, is definitely, like, the weak side to push from. Going up over that ledge, that wall, is more dangerous than trying to go in from the right. So especially since you've got your Hydra on the right, you might want to be concentrating more of your force on the right-hand side and trying to catch the tower on its way to mid, rather than trying to defend the first checkpoint area.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to do, but I don't think I communicated that properly.
So here we end up going down to the splash. From here, let's see, why do we end up below? Okay, so we get charged and drop down to try and clear tower again, but the bubble goes up and then we get rushed from the front. Now, this might be a little bit over-aggressive from Shovel, just because if the tower is going to move to the left, probably better to just try and position to get to grates. It's not like they have your sniper or anything, so you can probably get up onto the grates now that it's been called out that you're on the top right, and reposition so that they're not expecting you the second time. What do you think about that, Devi?
Yeah, no, it's a good call. Once you get the Tower Rider, and like if you're the only one there at the time when you get the Tower Rider, you should immediately think of what your next position is to be in play, because up at that top there you could see like you couldn't really hit anybody, you weren't quite sure if anyone else was near you and all that. So even though you know Big Dub is to the far left grate, there's still space for you to left peek on the grate there behind your snipe. That way you're still back in play and can cover mid, and then the positions can rotate more. So Clem would have another way in. I see Draco's respawning, but at least you'd have more control of mid. Like we could even put Big Dub could even go down in front of you now that you're in like the middle guard position, and then that way both Splatlings have control of mid. And with the comp that they have, they're heavy, and the dualies are the big one to contest that. And of course they have the crab tag right now, but at least you're keeping paint control mid until your teammate comes back in that scenario when you have the tower. But yeah, in this case, since they're still pushing tower, they had the bubble on it, I think, not that long ago. Definitely being on grates with Big Dub would be a good thing, or since you know Big Dub's taking up that top left spot, getting on the far left bunker grate. I don't know what the actual call out, but I call it a bunker grate. You know what I'm talking about, Jem, right? It's actually on the left side of Big Dub.
It's technically called scaffold.
Scaffold, that's it. Yeah, you can right
or
side
scaff
peek
for
that.
short.
You can right side peek that in the opening in the middle, or just go up to the grate and also shoot at it, because they don't have anything else really long range enough to can contest you besides the heavy if they get close enough. Same with the dually squelchers, but that way you can cross shot with your mini in one of those two spots.
There you go. So from here, with a player down on your right side, Clem has to retreat to court, and now it's just kind of Big Dub who's in the way here in front of the tower. Good job on Big Dub retreating and not going down there. That was a disadvantageous position, and you guys are actually able to team up to take someone out. So hopefully the callouts were calling to isolate that player, and good job to everyone collapsing on that. And that gives you an advantage over the tower. That gets the big thing that this does for you is it lets the blaster get close enough to clear the tower. As long as you have the blaster in range to hit the tower, you're gonna be fine. As soon as the blaster is threatened and has to get out of there, that's when you're in some trouble, because there are no bombs on your team that are really super reliable at clearing the tower. You've got auto bombs, which can be annoying to deal with, but you can trigger the auto bomb and then get to the other side of the tower and still be safe from it. It's not like a suction bomb that forces you to be on one side or another. And so it can be a little bit more difficult to pin someone off the tower from that. Other than that, you've got the Booyah Bomb, and otherwise that's it. Crab Tank can be helpful depending on the angle that's able to get. But like, your surest shot, I think, of clearing the tower here is either having two people shooting at it at once from a range, or having the blaster get on it. So hopefully they're able to get that fully cleared from here. The junior gets in there, and that's a wipe. Good stuff. All right, so we lose the checkpoint, which isn't ideal, but given the circumstances, you guys played the fights really well and were able to get control back. From here, it might be good for someone to very briefly paint the area behind the tower here so that you have that extra escape route. If you get pushed from the front right now, the only way that you can flee is into mid, and that might not be putting you back into safety. So having maybe like the splash for like a brief instant or the mini for like a brief instant, turn and use their painting power behind them here, that would potentially give you a way out if this goes south. And what's important here is not so much pushing the tower further, it's just important to not wipe, to not give them opportunities to push again. If you keep the tower just on this right side of mid for the entire game, not that I'm recommending that, you still win, right? It doesn't have to go any further than it is right now. It doesn't have to go anywhere at all. The important part is keeping yourselves alive and making it as difficult as possible for them to get the wipe and get the momentum that they need to end the game. Because they need to knock out, basically. So there's a long flank coming in from left, and this time there's nobody watching that flank. It should definitely be a plan as you're pushing the tower to always have someone watching that flank, because now Shovel's just going to get taken out.
That same thing happens as last time with the splash.
Yeah, at least the time before, Big Dub was watching, and like maybe it didn't get communicated that they weren't able to successfully stop the left, but at least you had someone over there. This time there wasn't even anyone there, so the first that anybody on the team knows about this player is when they're shooting Shovel in the back of the head.
And then they run alone with the bubble.
Okay, so the bubble... You honestly don't really need to contest the bubble too much. I would just focus on getting the bubble shredded. Because this player doesn't have any support. Once the bubble goes down, it's kind of over for them. But trying to get in there as the blaster is a low percentage play. The junior is actually a really good slayer, specifically in the context that it is inside its big bubbler. Because its issue is its range. Well, you have to be in its range if you push into the bubble. So that disadvantage is mitigated. And yeah, it's got some shot RNG, but the shot RNG doesn't matter as bad when the bubble is forcing you to be really close to them. Because the closer you are to a weapon, the less likely shot deviation is to make a shot miss. So for the blaster to push in here, they're going to get close enough to the junior that the junior can hit them, and it has a very high fire rate and decent damage for that fire rate. And the blaster, meanwhile, if it gets close to something, it needs to direct it if it's going to be able to splat it from close range. The AoE of the blaster only extends at its max range. If you're standing right next to something, the only way you do damage is if you hit the direct. So it's forcing you to make a very, a much more precise shot against a weapon that doesn't need to aim as precisely to still get a lot of damage down really quickly. So this is actually definitely a losing engagement. The blaster does not want to be taking this until... what we want to happen here, ideally, is Big Dub uses their range to hit the weak point of the shield and shred it, and then Clem just keeps their distance and uses the AoE to break the... to take out the player from behind cover around the tower pole. That's really what we're looking for there. So we're still a player down. We do not want to be pushing the tower. There's no reason we really need to push the tower. And we're at a disadvantage, so we're less likely to be successful at pushing the tower. We don't want to stagger here. All right, good job kiting that player back, getting off the tower, playing it safe. That was what I was hoping would happen. Something happens there. Big Dub gets caught, and maybe it was a bomb that got thrown, or the heavy got some shots in or something. So 3v3. And I like that we're playing it safe here. Clem being threatening on the snipe. We start getting the tower moving, but we're not really playing for the tower. Clem has gone all the way in, and there's nobody there with them. So this seems like it probably wasn't called out. Nobody's looking at it. Nobody's moving to it. How does this happen here? Let me look at what Clem is up to. Yeah, so pushing in that far, it's really not necessary to do, first of all. Like, it's not going to... your team is fine if we just hold our positions in mid. So we only want to do this if we think there's very high value we get from it. And it's very unlikely that we get high value from this, and we can know that for a couple of reasons. For one thing, they're all back up. They're all respawned, and we can know that from looking at the heads-up display at the top. For another thing, they have more specials than we do. So worst case scenario, you know, they might just pop a wave breaker or something. And even if your whole team rushes in to help you with this, you're at a disadvantage because they have that available. Second, and beyond that, there's nobody anywhere near you on your team. It's granted, it is harder as a frontliner to know whether you have teammates with you to support you in a fight, but I don't think you've been given any reason to suspect that there's someone going in with you. If you're going to make a play like this, you want people at least sweeping in from the right-hand side to distract from another angle, because look how deep you're diving into enemy ink. Look at where your teammates are set up. Notice that Big Dub is still respawning. Like, there are a lot of disadvantages that you're putting yourself into by going for this fight, and this is very unlikely to result in success. Player goes down, and now we're at a 4v3. They do pop the wave breaker for it, which is probably a little bit more than they really needed, but Booyah goes out, and you're able to get one back. Okay, so they're not able to really push in with that numbers advantage before you guys get back. Although, it looks like the heavy gets two there. Let's see what happened.
Looks like they shredded the bubble that was on the tower.
Okay, so the bubble goes down. Yeah, okay. So what's happening in the meantime? What's happening around that? So right now the tower is frontlining. That's really the problem with this. Yes, Big Bubbler is useful for like being able to crack a checkpoint or something, but it's starting to fall out of favor, even in tower control, because it's just shredding really fast. Like, teams are realizing how much of an issue that Big Bubbler is, and so they're devoting players to just shooting at it as soon as it goes out. So you've got to think about the bubble as like the same way that a splash wall user would think about their splash wall. That this thing is going to buy me some time, but it is not just an invulnerability special. It is not something that is going to last forever. There is a time limit on this, and once that time limit is out, then I need to not be here anymore, unless there's somebody else up in front of me. The Big Bubbler being on tower might help in that it gives your front line time to get back into position and start pushing the enemy team back. But if they can't do that, then we need to get off the tower and abandon this push. Because there's a lot of firepower out in front, and right now one frontliner is still jumping back in, and the other one is further back than anyone else on the team. Nobody's creating the space that the tower needs to be able to push through from here. So as soon as that goes down and you're vulnerable again, we've got to recognize that, you know, the time, even before then, once the Big Bubbler is starting to get low, we want to be kind of cutting our losses and backing up a little bit and stalling for time a bit. So now we're in a 2v4, 1v3, and Draco is forced to completely back up and gets no value out of the crab, except for maybe surviving. Alright, so enemy team is starting to push back in. Ooh, 2 down. I need a more zoomed in view, so I'm going to go back for a second and look at one of the frontliners and see.
There is a way you can focus on the tower.
Yeah, I'd rather see it from someone's perspective here. So someone comes in over Spinner. And I like that we're recognizing that Spinner is a threat and we're already on our way up here. It's just unfortunate that, like, with the timing the way it was, you probably don't have time to check Spinner safely. So I'm gonna... What happens to Shovel? Okay, so we just stand on a bomb for too long.
Yeah.
This is escapable. If you just go squid form and swim forward right now, you get out of this.
But I make the mistake of jumping.
Yeah. Something that's I think a lot of like heavy and charger players develop as a bad habit is that they do the absolute most that they can to make sure they actually get to use their charge. They're like, I spent like 3 seconds charging this thing. Gosh dang it, I'm going to shoot someone with it. But in a situation like there is a bomb at my feet, you need to have an instinct to override that and just say, no, I need to survive. It is much more important that you save the 13 seconds that it's going to take you to get back out on the map after respawning rather than the 2 seconds that it takes to get your charge back. So just have the impulse that if you are threatened with certain lethal damage, just hit ZL and swim out of there and cancel the charge and don't do it. So, 2 separate situations there. It's unfortunate that Clem wasn't quite able to trade. Actually, they do trade one back. Because Clem looked like they were in a pretty solid position when the 2 players were charging down Draco. And the fact that it was a 2v1 at that point means that Clem probably can't get both of them, but they did at least get one of them. And that's good job to Clem there. That was about the most that they can really hope for out of that. So now it looks like Clem is getting in position to flank from behind the tower, which... Great timing because the spinner's coming down. Oh, okay, never mind. They come back the other way, which works too. Get a little too deep in there. Maybe a little miscommunication because it looks like Draco is backing up at the same time that Clem is going in. So if Clem is going to go in, Clem wants to be calling like I'm pushing, and somebody needs to be responding to that call out by like covering the off angle so that they flush the enemy player out, and Clem has a way in. But you should probably still be able to clean this up. Yeah, you get the wipe. So a little bit scarier now because they don't have any checkpoints in the way, but you've maintained control of the tower, and you only need to stop one more push. 30 seconds left. They're not going to have time to regroup and get a full special push in if you wipe them after this. So all we need to do is maintain our lives. All we need to do is get enough space that they have to push further back, and then as soon as we run into any kind of aggression from them, we want overwhelming force, or we want to give a little bit of space and bide our time for a better fight. The crab tank is up, which is awesome. Having the crab in a prominent position is a possible just win condition right off the bat. So we want to make sure we're keeping Draco alive. We could just get the Hydra in a really commanding position and make it difficult to push them. There are a lot of ways that we can do this. Nice, we get one, and the crab tank gets popped right away. We should just be able to keep them off the tower from here. Crab is going to get flanked around, but nothing you can do about that. There's only one player in front. Clem is distracting someone on the side. That player doesn't really need to go down. I would just focus on the tower from here, but good job getting them. But from here, Shovel probably doesn't want to stay on the tower. Shovel probably wants to stay in...
For a bit too long.
Yeah.
I stayed on for too long. I popped Booyah Bomb and got shredded.
So, as a general rule, never have the tower frontlining. Always have someone in front of the tower if you're going to be pushing it, especially in a position where you're in the lead and you don't need these extra points. You can just kind of let it sit there and maybe start to reset a little bit before you get back on to make sure that your team has time to get up in front of you. Like I said, it's not the most important thing that we win the fight on the left here. Like, if that fight had just gone on for the next 10 seconds and nobody died, you guys are in a winning position anyway. So if it's possible to stall that, then go for it. But if you needed to in order for Clem to survive, then that's totally cool. But that also needs to be called out that, like, we're fighting 2 on left, and that should be a clue to the people in front. Even if you don't see anybody in front of you, wait a minute, we're distracted elsewhere. We probably shouldn't push the tower yet. So they do go for it, and this is kind of desperation push at this point. We have the numbers up front. We're going to be able to win it anyway. So, good job overall. Like, you guys are winning a lot of fights. Your front line is tending to collapse with each other. Like, that fight at the end there, I can tell that, like, somebody is being called over to the left to help with that fight. So I think that's a really positive development there in terms of communication. We just want to make sure that like that's happening every time and not just some of the time. So huge KA numbers for Draco and Clem. You know, hats off to the front line for the work that they were doing. That was in large part what got you your good position in the first place, was fights that they were taking together successfully. So overall, good job to them. There were a few over-aggressions here and there. There were a few engagements that they took where they didn't have the kind of support that would have let them win every single time. But on the whole, awesome job. It looks like one of the bigger concerns here is actually like, so with the back line and the mid line having far more deaths than the front line, that's that's the opposite of what you would typically expect. You would typically expect that it's the more aggressive players that are going to be going down more. So that speaks to the fact that you guys were getting flanked. And so that's, you know, again, the communication thing, making sure that those flanks are being called. It also might just be like self-preservation issues, like we were seeing with the bomb and not swimming away from that. That's something which just like doesn't need to happen, and you should prioritize keeping yourself alive more than trying to use those shots. So focus more on, obviously you need to move up when you need to move up, but when you're in a position and you feel like it's not safe to be there, just hit the ZL button, you know, just get yourself out of there ahead of time and rotate to another position or something. Like whenever you get that feeling of uncertainty of, I don't feel like I can do anything from here, but I also don't feel like it's safe, find another backline position and move there preemptively so that when the tower gets to where you are, you're now in a good position, rather than trying to make the position that you're in keep working.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me, or I don't know if your teammates are in contact with you or something? I think someone...
Yeah, it looks like my
chat.
team is in the chat. I don't have any questions personally.
All right. Awesome. Well, let me know if you guys have any questions in the future, if there's anything that the team brings up that they'd like to know about. But I think from there, we will move on to Ocean. So thank you so much, guys.
Hello.
Hello. Somebody asked if I have a tier list, and I do. It's not as up to date. I don't think I have the new weapons on it, actually. But the most recent tier list that I made is in the resources section of the Squid School Discord server, which can be found from here. All right. Tri-Stringer on Flounder Heights.
Wait, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the second one that I sent you? This one I kind of played bad on because I don't know the map very well.
And your comp is very interesting, I would say. As
Yes.
is theirs, but... Okay, so you have a different one that you'd like us to look at instead.
Yeah, I DM'd you the code.
Um...
I'm trying to get your stream up. It's like...
The one that I have there is... Oh, never mind, it's not the most recent one. Got a better game for... Okay, got it. I'll go put in the new one. My bad, I skimmed it too carelessly and missed one of them, so...
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll get the new one in. Oop. Oop. There's that.
This game just has better comps on it, and
6FRJ.
a map that I know. And it was a closer game, too.
Alright, cool. So, Hagglefish Tower, I think it was?
Mm-hmm.
Let me go in and see if I still agree with that tier list, because there's a lot in the game that has changed, I think, since I made that. I want to make sure that I don't want to just like be like, actually, no, that's all wrong. Don't listen to that. So I've posted a couple tier lists from other analysts. Oh, I think the most recent tier list that I have that I made is a Splatoon 2 tier list. But let's see. What do the other ones look like? Oh yeah, those are pretty old actually. Yeah, those are not up to date at all. So I'm probably going to take those down, and I'll probably make a new one at some point. People love their tier lists. All right. So, sorry about that. Top tier right now is Splash-O-Matic. Everybody is running 2 Splash-O-Matics, 1 sloshing machine, and a Flingza roller. And that's your typical top-level comp at the moment. So, hopefully that at least gives you some idea. But we're talking about this match right here, right now. It's a Flingza roller, a Tri-Stringer, a Rapid Pro, and Dapple Toolies. So, not a ton of frontline, but a lot of chip damage, which is nice. And the Dapples, I mean, they're not a weapon that's really going to rush forward too much anyway. They're more trying to shark. So, they're definitely going to have a hard time as Dapples getting in. There's just not a lot that's... your comp is designed well to be a chip damage comp. Like, you've got missiles plus Tri-Stringer plus Rapid Pro, all of which do a sizable amount of damage from a long distance. So you're going to be able to keep opponents...
Well as well.
Sorry, what?
Well as well also does good chip damage.
That's true. Oh yeah, wait, these Dapples have Torpedo. So they could actually just play really passively and throw torpedoes, and that would work out really well with this comp. So yeah, this can work. We don't have any bombs. Yeah, we don't have any bombs at all, which is a little bit rough. The Rapid Pro has Toxic Mist, right? Is that what it has?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Me as well.
yeah.
I think I threw 2 Toxic Mists this entire game.
I mean, Toxic Mist on tower definitely has impact. It makes it a lot more difficult for that player to move around. It makes it so they get locked down very quickly if they try to stay on, so it's easy for another player to pick them off from there. So it's not a waste on tower. It's just you really want to have at least some bombs, ideally. So that's a little bit rough in terms of the RNG of the team comp you got. But looking at the other team, they've got a 52 who's going to be able to paint a good amount, which is... Your Flingza paints, and you paint okay, and that's about all I can say.
Quite a bit better after the update, actually.
Okay, that's good. But they have a Nova, which is a solid painting weapon, and a 52, which paints well, and the Dynamo paints decently well themselves, so it's really only the Carbon that doesn't. So they have you beat a little bit on paint. But they don't have... Let's see. They've got 2 whales. I don't think they have any bombs either. The best they've got is a burst bomb. Man, it's so difficult analyzing these solo queue comps because they're just so weird and no one would ever run them. As always, there's a Carbon roller. There's a, ambush weapon on the enemy comp. So the answer for how to beat that is always to paint defensively, to make sure that it can't sneak up on you, to make sure that you're never close enough to enemy ink that it's able to just jump out and jump scare you. There's nothing else really that's going to be able to shark you that hard. The 52 is more going to walk straight up and knock on the front door. And so maybe what happens is the 52 gets your attention and then the Carbon flanks, and that's how that works. But the other 2 weapons are very supportive and non-aggressive. So those are probably your 2 primary threats, and you can worry about the others and poke them out slowly as time goes on.
And I will say this is the best comp I could find in an hour of solo queue.
Yeah. That is how it do be. Alright, so there's someone coming up on the left. I know that because there's a splash of ink over there on the far left in that corridor. And it doesn't seem like your team is responding to it right now, so hopefully that means that they've got it covered, but really you'd probably rather they be painting it to make sure. I'm a little worried about what happens over there. Okay, looks like they put some paint over the... No, they didn't put any paint over the side. So someone's... 52's coming from that side. They do collapse on it. Good.
If I come up on left because it's open.
In the time that it takes to transition, though, someone pushes forward. So this is maybe a little bit further forward than you want to be right at that moment. So you rotate over to the left, but from here, like, you probably don't want to be too much closer to your teammates than this, so that you're able to back up successfully if they get rushed. Because if you're right on top of your teammates and they're the front line and they get rushed, that's not your ideal place to be standing at that point. So I would say committing this far forward, what you're basically doing is cutting your own sight lines. You can't see over this cover that's in front of you now that you're this close. You want at least a little bit of high ground. So I wouldn't have gone down from the first ramp of the switchback. I would have probably stayed a little bit further back, since you can still have an impact from there. Your priorities, because you're basically a backline weapon. Like, there's some people who will call it midline, and I frankly completely disagree with that. I think this is more of an anchor than anything else. Your goal is to stay safe, first priority, and priority 2, have an impact while you're safe. And so, in terms of staying safe, you're putting yourself closer to the enemy team. You're actually in range of the Carbon Roller's vertical flick from here. And number 2, you're actually giving yourself a position where you can have less of an impact, because you're not taking an angle that's separate from what angle your teammates are taking. You're also putting yourself at low ground where there are more things that are in your way that are going to block your shots. So I would actually say that on both fronts, having an impact and on staying alive, you're better off if you had stayed further back here. So, backing up gives you a much better position, which you recognize here, and so if you had just stayed further back in the first place, you'd have been able to take that kind of a fight successfully. And I like that now we're moving back like this. Good movements to avoid the whale. Nice. I like that we're popping this and trying to have an impact on that fight from a distance. You probably got this guy. Oh,
No.
so close.
I hit him like 6 times.
Yeah, that's honestly a little bit frustrating. Like, but good job, taking the
It's
opportunity
just a
when you had it.
tri-stinger moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens, and other times you just randomly one-shot someone from across the map.
But my rule for tri-stringer players is that I want you to be having an impact on every fight that your team takes whenever it happens. Because every single tool in your kit lets you do that. You can aim from long distance and fire those arrows to take up a lot of space. You can fire the killer whale at something when a fight is happening. You can throw a toxic mist at the fight. There's every single aspect of your kit helps you make an impact, interfere with a fight from long range. So I like that you're popping this. If you had like another quarter of a second to react, I would probably have wanted you to save this, because your teammates both went down, and so now there's no follow-up on this. And the only way you're going to be able to get a pick from popping the whale here is if you finish the kill yourself, which you're now in a 2v4 situation, so I'm actually surprised that nobody tries to rush you here. This is
Yeah, it's a bit of a
where-
mistake. They just didn't capitalize on it.
Your team isn't really keeping them from getting forward there, so I like that you go and take this position now, and you're able to get a whole bunch of arrows down, and slightly better predictions there, and you probably actually get a pick out of that because you did a lot of damage. Now we just got to make sure we're not getting hit by the Trizuka, which we're in a pretty good position to do. Nice shot. Good stuff.
Juicy.
From here, you probably want to be firing at long range to poke at them because they've backed up really far. But nice, we launched this, and we're trying to like solo those players out so that our teammates can go in and get them. Beautiful. Perfectly used killer whale there, I would say. And now we just need to, back away from the... Man. We were doing so well, and then we just completely lost the push. What happens to our teammates here?
Yeah, I mean, the rank down put me in S, and I didn't really have time to get back up to S plus in time for this.
So there's someone attacking the tower from the left, and you're trying to deal with that, but then whomp. So I didn't actually notice because of, you know, the mortal terror that sets in, but that was actually the dynamo roller, so they're not going to chase you super far in all likelihood, and you can probably turn around a little bit sooner, but I thought it was the carbon the whole time, so...
Me too.
So those shots on the right are a little bit too timid. They're a little bit like, you're not close enough to have an impact from there. And you fire a lot of shots that are never actually in range to help with that fight. So you probably want to be moving a little bit further forward. Like, the opponents on the right, they're going to fight your teammate before they fight you, right? Because they're already engaged with your teammate. So you can get a little bit closer to that, and then if your teammate goes down, then you run away to, like, maybe this position. But until you're at risk of being dropped on from mid, I think it's definitely safe to go to the right a little bit and shoot from a little bit further forward just to make sure you're actually having an impact there. Nice shot. All right. We want to be a little careful. We have a teammate watching mid from the left side, but they might not see if someone slips through. Especially since they're so far over to the left, so might want to get a little bit of paint there in mid, just to make sure that we see it coming if it starts. Got someone on the left, so we're being careful over there. Good job just making sure you're not in range of the whale. The position we took there, it looks like you knew that that player was there as you were coming up the glass, and the positions you're taking aren't really giving you angles where you can hit them. So I'd try and position maybe so that you're looking around the right-hand side, or so that you're not going up onto the glass right away or something, because otherwise they're just going to be able to use the glass that you're standing on for cover. But they're not exactly putting themselves in a safe position either, so you're able to just catch them there. So good job. You want to set yourself up in a place where you're going to have angles on them when you're firing shots. So always be thinking like, what can I right side peek, and where can I stand that I'm going to have an open sight line? There are a lot of times where you're approaching mid here where it's largely painted their color and you're not doing a lot to paint it. There are definitely some times where instead of trying to assist your teammates with pushing forward, painting that up in the middle is, you even just like a couple of up-down shots before going back to helping them out will be a huge safety kind of insurance policy, especially against something like a carbon deco. Fortunately, you
and
have
after the update, you can actually get pretty similar paint without having to go up down by just going forward and then down.
Nice. That's
Because
really
of the
nice.
buff.
So, yeah, like painting just a little bit here would probably have been a good idea to make sure that you're safe before you start setting up here, because then I think you'll feel more confident staying further forward, because since the entire area in front of you is blue, that nobody can approach you. But I think you're playing a little bit more timid than you need to be in some cases, and part of the reason is that you're not sure that there might be a roller sharking, when you have the ability to just like make sure there isn't a roller sharking ever, because before the roller can get in position, you're painting it up, and they don't have an approach route. You see that they're going in. And like, we're backing up to this position an awful lot. There may be some times that we're able to be just a little bit more aggressive than to back up to here. One of the reasons I'm worried about you doing the same thing over and over again is that eventually a frontliner catches on to that and looks for you to catch you in transition. Maybe someone, well, in this case they don't have bombs, but maybe someone puts a bomb up over the glass because they are expecting you to be there, or they paint the path that you have always taken to go to the same spot. So be mindful of taking the same position repeatedly. This one's a great spot for you, just if you always are in that spot, it becomes a weaker position. And like you can see from here on the left, you're still having an impact. So you probably didn't need to back up all the way. You probably could have like squid rolled back and forth to dodge the lasers instead of like running all the way in one direction.
Or, yeah. I feel like it would have had more of an impact in that fight if I stayed on the left. Just because it had better angles there.
Yeah. So good job getting the pick here. I think this is an avoidable death that happens afterward. Let's rewind this for a sec. Yeah, so you're firing in some really good places, making yourself really obnoxious. You're able to get
And then I
there.
overextend.
Yeah, because like this player right here, it's very visual that they're there. They have the tacticooler buff, and they're putting a wall out. You don't have time to get charge up before the wall's out. You don't really need to fight them. You can just kind of back up, because you've already taken the player off the tower, and your team already has an advantage. You can let your team deal with this guy. Even numbers. As we come back in, we notice that there's a fight on the right. And I love the way that you get the charge from behind cover and then move out and see if you can hit the shot. They're moving away by that point, but you still manage to catch them on the way. The tri-stringer does still have... the laser pointer at the end of the charger is definitely a weakness of the charger. But personally, I'm never even looking for the laser. I'm looking for the light that the charger makes. Like, I'm looking for the player. I'm looking for their position and not their laser. So, I personally don't think it's that big of a difference between the tri-stringer and the charger, because you still have the light on the front of your weapon, if not the laser. And so people are still going to see that and be looking for it. So, the way that you're hiding behind cover while charging before exposing yourself to fire the shot, that is a big part, I think, of why you were able to get that they didn't know you were there until you were almost ready to fire. There's someone on the right, so you're going to back up. Nice, and your teammates are able to handle that really quickly. Good awareness on their part. Great job blocking that off and preventing them from approaching you. This is really solid so far. The team hasn't really been able to push very far. I would probably want to be a little bit further forward here. Like, look at how much blue paint you have in front of you. You still have an escape route here, and the team is clearly starting to try and fight up in front. That player who died on the tower, like, granted, they were overextended, but you can still apply some safe pressure while they're there and back up only once they go down. You backed up before they went down, which made it so that they were less likely to, like, at least trade or do something with it. So I was a little bit worried like, I like that you're kind of trying to shut down one side of the tower here so that your teammates can get the other. But I was also noticing that, like, you're starting to lose ground in front of you, and that you've fired a lot of shots from the same position.
I got a tunnel visioned on the tower.
Yeah, like,
I would say
there's
it's
a
the issue.
big splash of ink that happens over the top right glass here, and that's something that's, like, if I see that, I'm still going to fire at tower, but I'm going to fire at the tower from the left when I start seeing that kind of thing happening. And, like, there are a bunch of players to your bottom right. Like, there were a lot of warning signs that this was coming. So we're one down. This isn't the end of the world, but we have to stop this fairly quickly. All you have is one checkpoint to work with. Nice. We get one, so we get the overextending dynamo roller. And this might actually be game right here. Yeah, this is looking like a good position for you guys. You get two down. You're defending your base, your court. Yeah, wipe out, perfect. So, generally pretty positive. Like, there are obviously some like moment-to-moment decisions where I'm like, here you could be backing up, here you could be pushing forward further. I'd say the biggest thing is to be willing to rotate positions a little bit more, because that'll do a number of things for you. It'll keep you safer because you're less predictable where you are. It will make it so that it enables you to have more angles, so that if you're in a position that's not giving you benefit now, you can rotate to another position that'll give you benefit right away. It lets you see more of the map, it lets you paint more, and it gives you the ability to respond to what your teammates are doing if you're not going to try and take the same position every time. So definitely try and be more cognizant of like how many times have I gone out to this same spot and what other positions would be valuable on this map. But you overall have a very positive impact on this game. You make it very difficult for them to move forward. Like, it was a very low scoring game, but that didn't matter because they just had such a devil of a time moving through mid. So
I mean, it's a bit more of an issue for me on Higglefish because that position that I kept taking is like one of the best, if not the best, backline position in the game.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Especially for a tri-stringer where you can like arc over with 2 towers.
Yeah, I would say the left side of the switchback is also a very good position for you. It lets you watch the left flank in. It lets you see a good amount of mid still, and you know the tower is going to go that way, so that's important to be able to control. And if somebody's coming from the right, yeah, you're not going to stop them as soon, but you still are going to see them well before they get in range of you in your right side court. So I still think that like gives you the ability to cover pretty much everything that you need to be worried about, and that's a solid position as well. So, do you have any questions for me?
Not really.
All right.
Thanks for the lesson. It was fun. I mean, I've been watching you since basically when the channel switched names.
Wow. All right.
And it's been really cool to see the growth from, I think it was like 7 or 8K when I started watching, all the way to like 50K now.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I don't know if you noticed, but every 10K, I would be in the chat and I'd say, oh, congrats, 10K feels like yesterday.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support.
Yeah, thank you.
For those of you who want a VOD review like this, I've already said this once earlier, but the Tuesday VOD reviews, just find me on Discord and DM me. There are also other VOD reviews that I've been doing on other days at other times, and those are reserved through Metafy. Metafy is a website where you can find professional coaches and pay them for their services, and that is a paid thing for me because I only have so much time, and if I'm going to choose it not making content, then I need to be making at least a little something. But I think the prices are hopefully reasonable, so hopefully that's not too much of a turnoff for anyone who's interested. But either DM me on Discord or just find the Metafy and book a session through there, and that's how you will get me to do what I have done for these 3 today. I'd like to thank them for, again, being willing to be told what they're doing wrong in front of a whole bunch of people on the internet, because that is terrifying, and I totally understand that is not an easy thing to do all the time. And thank you all for watching. That is going to do it for our stream, and we are going to raid out to... I have a bunch of options today. Let's go raid Lumo Phoenix. Lumo Phoenix is a salmon run player, and is kind of a resident expert that I always go to when I have questions about salmon. And they're very nice to... very nice, articulate, and willing to help with any questions related to salmon run. So if you're interested in getting read up a little bit on how that works before a big run comes out, this will be a great opportunity for you to ask in chat. Hey, Squid School, will you learn how to do a standing backflip? Maybe someday. Maybe someday. Let's get that raid started. And of course, it's going to tick down on the timer, but that just gives you time, if you're a YouTube person, to come over to Twitch if you want to participate in the raid and be there to say hi to Lumo when it is time to transfer over. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.